college football has been brought to you by the Heartbeat of America.
Will receive the kickoff. There are 3 people deep to accept it. In the middle, it is
first time. There are 129 members of the cadet football team who have suited out today. 110 for the Crimson Tide of Alabama. 50 degrees as we approach kickoff. No rain in the forecast, and wind, which howled through here yesterday, has diminished now to only 5 miles per hour. The Army Cadets won the toss, which means Philip Doyle will kick off for the Alabama Crimson Tide, and Mike Mayweather and Edrian Oliver are the 2 deep men. Mayweather, number 30, Oliver, the freshman out of Fontana, California, number 31. Officiating crew is out of the Big 8, headed by J.C. Louderback. And we're underway. Taken by Mike Mayweather at the 5. Ankle tackle as he trips across the 25. And the Cadets of West Point will take over at their own 29-yard line after the 26-yard return. Brian McWilliams, the quarterback, and this is an underclass backfield. McWilliams will be joined by Mike Mayweather and Calvin Cass. And the fullback is Ben Barnett, and they, of course, run the wishbone and do it well. Sean Jordan, when he does catch passes, catches them for huge yardage. The tight end is Doug Baker. McWilliams keeps on first down and 10 and picks up a couple as he comes left side. And the tackle is made by Derek Thomas, who is the strongest member of the Alabama Crimson Tide defense.
And the strength of this Alabama team is really in their linebackers. Shepard and McCants inside. McCants will be the next superstar, I think, at Alabama at linebacker.
Derek Thomas.
Outside, yeah, Derek Thomas and Spencer Hammond. Thomas, again, is going to be playing that wishbone. Not as many spectacular plays out of him today.
Second down and 8, opening moments of the game. Again, the pitch this time to Mayweather going right. That's an Army first down after the 43-yard line. Tackle made by number 42, Lee Osmond.
You know, the wishbone or any option offense is a great offense to run against a guy like Derek Thomas, who is so spectacular, because when you run the option, you don't have to block him sometimes. There's many times he'll come down the line of scrimmage and just option off and pitch the ball, so you don't have to try to block him.
There is Derek Thomas. Don Lindsay, his coach, said he didn't expect a big day from him today. This time it's Mayweather going back to the right of the counterplay, and again picking up just about 1 near the 45 of Army. Tackle made by John Mangum, number 29. Mike Mayweather, 1,022 yards, had only 42 in the regular season finale against Navy, and now limps off the field, and he would be a huge loss for the Cadets. Mayweather, just a sophomore, out of East St. Louis, Illinois. And Edrian Oliver, the freshman, has taken his place. Second down and 8. Up the middle to the fullback, Barnett. He doesn't have great speed, and he is caught from behind as he is down at the 4-yard line. Charles Gardner caught him, but that's a 51-yard run, and by 30 yards, the longest run of the season for Ben Barnett.
Well, you look at the blocks on the right side. Some great blocks inside. This was set up earlier by running the pitch play. The defense overran the play. Ben Barnett looks like he's got tugboat speed. Otherwise, he would have scored, but Charles Garner did a nice job of preventing the touchdown. But that's a good inside fullback play by the Cadets.
Previous longest run for Barnett had been 21. First and goal, opening drive of the ball game. And the handoff again to Barnett. And he is down to the 1-yard line. No touchdown.
The surprising thing early in this first drive is that this Cadet offensive line appears that they're blowing this Alabama team off the line. And with running the option attack, you don't necessarily have to dominate the line of scrimmage, but you just get in front of your guy just long enough to let that ball carrier on the option play get by you quickly.
Second down and goal, opening drive of the ball game. They give it to the fullback again, and that Crimson Tide defense stiffens at the 1. No score. This time, Thomas Raham and George Thornton, numbers 95 and 94, make the tackle as Bill Curry looks on. Third and goal from the 1. This is a Crimson Tide defense that has given up an average of only 95 yards on the ground per game. And, of course, Army comes in as the number 3 rushing team in NCAA football. Third and goal from the 1. No score. First drive. Mayweather back in, touchdown. That's his 10th of the year.
And Vern, that is a surprising drive on the opening drive by Army, but a very good one. We saw a couple of different things. We saw the quarterback pitch the ball outside early to Mayweather for a nice play. They ran the fullback, of course, Barnett early inside for the big long gain. They ran some power plays with Mayweather there for the touchdown. So you've seen a lot, even though they run the wishbone offense.
The big play was the 51-yarder by Ben Barnett. That brings on Keith Walker for the extra point. It is up, and it is good.
Wow, that is an impressive drive. Again, Mike Mayweather, who, although he's only 5'8" and 180 pounds, he is a very strong runner inside. The term physical is such a relative term, and even though he is small, he is a physical football player. And watch the right halfback block. That is Calvin Cass, as he comes in here and blocks on the defender to lead the way for Mayweather. Calvin Cass, anytime in the wishbone offense you have some big plays at a one halfback, the other lead halfback is throwing the key block. And Cass did it there.
So on a 70-yard drive in 7 plays, the largest of which was a 51-yard run by the fullback Ben Barnett, the Cadets take a 7-0 lead over the Crimson Tide. And Brent Rambush is on to kick off. And what a stunner on the opening drive of the game.
It really is. Ben Barnett looked like a guy who was trying to catch a bus, chug it down there in the field, but it was an instant, the way they kind of sequenced the plays. First the option play outside and then the play inside. And they set their plays up beautifully.
Ben Rambush will kick off as the Cadets take an early 7-0 lead. And the 2 deep men now for Alabama, Pierre Good, number 2, and William Kent, number 30. Kent to the left side. And Good is a flyer. Rambush to Good at the 2. And Good is knocked down as he crosses the 20 near the 21-yard line. A 20-yard return. Tackle made by Mike O'Toole, and here comes the senior quarterback, David Smith. He will be joined offensively for the Crimson Tide by Murray Hill and Robert Stewart in the backfield. Greg Payne and Marco Battle, not the quickest wide receivers. Howard Cross, who's improved as a receiver terrifically in the last season as tight end. David Smith, 61%, and 7 touchdowns to go with 7 interceptions in 88. Missed 3 games early in the year. The toss to Murray Hill, and he's knocked down as he gets near the 23-yard line. As we highlight the secondary first of the Cadets of West Point, Mike Thorson and Ernest Boyd are the cornerbacks. Darrell Sherb and O'Neal Miller. O'Miller might be the toughest hitter defensively on the team.
And Homer Smith, the offensive coordinator from Alabama, said about O'Neal Miller, we have to account for him. He makes a lot of plays at free safety. We always have to block him. 2nd
down and 8, back split, play fake. David Smith, the lefty, throws it out incomplete, intended for Greg Payne, number 6. And it'll be 3rd and 8. Payne comes back in. David Smith, of course, wants a walk-on at Alabama and might be playing his final year today. Homer Smith says a lot of folks don't think he's a great quarterback. We think he's a very good quarterback.
Everybody underestimates him, but I have seen him 3 times this year, and he has played remarkably well. A very heady player, makes a lot of smart plays.
3rd and 8. Stunts by the Army defensive line. A short pass taken by Murray Hill. And he's got the 1st down plus as he cuts across the 40 and is knocked down at the 43.
This play here, this short pass to Murray Hill, kind of characterizes this Alabama offense and Homer Smith, the offensive coordinator's philosophy. You get back and you dink the ball. You throw short passes to guys like Murray Hill, who are so good after they catch the ball and make a lot of people miss. They turn a 5-yard gain into a 15-yard gain.
That one was 19 and a 1st and 10 Alabama. They trail 7-0. High formation, both wide receivers left, and a toss to Murray Hill. He comes to the short side of the field and is out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Pat Davey, number 66,
You know, Vern, we talked about the weight differential between this big Alabama offensive line and this Army defense. And what Army has to do to try to combat that is move people around. They're a slanting defense, which Alabama does not see much in the Southeastern Conference. So you're going to see a lot of people moving late and slanting and trying to confuse David Smith just a little bit.
Kevin Turner comes in now at fullback on 2nd down and 7 for the Crimson Tide. He's the short man of the eye. Wide receivers left and right. And Smith will throw. Cocks and fires deep, and it is caught by Marco Battle. That's another Alabama first down as they cross midfield for the first time.
You know, Vern, there's a lot of guys in college football like Marco Battle, who guys are not the fastest guys on their team or in their neighborhoods, but who get it done without speed because the game just seems to care more to guys like that. They've had to work harder their whole lives, and he's done a remarkable job this year at Alabama.
Battle came into this game with 28 catches in regular season. First down and 10, Bama. The handoff, Murray Hill. Nice move behind the line. It's Pierre Good, rather. Good, who has been operating as a flanker all year long, has been moved back to his original spot at tailback for the first time in this game.
Here's again that big offensive line trying to clear the way for Pierre Good. The right tackle, Chapman, leads the way. But again, quick penetration by the Black Knights, who have 3 or 4 black jerseys around Good before he had any chance to make his move and use that speed that he has.
David Castile in as a running back now. 2nd down and 9. 7-0, Army leads. 3-man rush by the Cadets. Smith with time, deep left side, and overthrows his intended receiver, Todd Richardson, number 23.
One of the things early on that this Black Knight defense is doing is really disrupt him, I think, the rhythm of David Smith. Ordinarily, David throws a lot of catchable balls right in the numbers, but so far, because he's had a little pressure on him early in this game, he is not kind of throwing the balls that have been easy to catch.
3rd and 9 for Alabama, trailing 7-0 with 10:10 to go, first quarter. Last time on 3rd and long, Smith found Murray Hill for the first down in a 19-yard gain. Straight drop back across the middle, incomplete. Intended for Lamont Russell, the backup tight end, who had come in on passing downs, and that will bring on Chris Moore as the Crimson Tide have the drive stymied and will be forced to punt. Wind is not a factor today at all. It's a gentle breeze of 5 miles an hour. There's Chris Moore, all-time leading punter in Alabama history. Averaged 45-1 back as a freshman and has had a terrific career. Paul Wynn will return with a moderate average of 4.7, and timeout has been called now by Alabama. There's a bit of the Christmas flavor from the southwestern part of the United States as we're on the Mexican border in El Paso. Back in a moment. 70-yard drive. They came in as 14-point underdogs.
I am a little bit surprised, and often in bowl games, it's the team that gets into the rhythm of the game first and is the one that wins, because you had a couple of weeks off to prepare for the game, and it's tough to get that rhythm back. So far, Army has it.
Chris Moore on the punt on 4th down and 9. Paul Wynn waits for it inside the 10-yard line. A 7-0 ball game. Army leads on a 1-yard run by Mike Mayweather. Low snap, which Moore controls way up in the air. Nice punt. That is a dandy. It has a chance to go. Takes an Army roll and scoots into the end zone. Boy, he did that well.
It's a fabulous punt. Ordinarily, that punt is on grass. That doesn't happen.
Right now, let's go back down to John Dockery.
You know, Vern, after that first Army drive, there was shock and bewilderment along the Alabama sidelines. Defensive coach Larry New took his Chargers and told them to keep their poise, keep their cool, and emphasize to Derek Thomas that he has to be tougher at the point of attack. We'll see what happens in this series. Now back to you, Vern.
All right, John. Cadets have a first down and 10 at the 20. This is an Army team averaging 346 yards on the ground per game. McWilliams to Mayweather, and they get around the corner again.
And Vern, that was a perfect example of optioning off Derek Thomas. You attack the best man on their defense, but you don't block him. You come down the line of scrimmage. He was there. They pitched right off him and had a nice little gain. Watch it. You'll see Derek Thomas on the right part of the screen step up, number 55, and he's the man he's optioned off of. Nobody even blocked him. You don't have to in the option play, and that's why it suits this Army team so well.
2nd down and 4. This time they'll test the middle of the line, and that might be enough to move the chain again. Keith McCants, number 86, makes the tackle. This is the first time Alabama, of course, has faced a wishbone team this year. Ironic, because they used to run it. How difficult is it to face a wishbone team for the first time?
Well, it is very difficult, particularly when you have the kind of defense that Alabama has, which is a pressure, aggressive defense. And when you play a wishbone, you have to stay at home and be much more disciplined, although they had a couple of weeks to prepare for the game.
First down and 10, Army. McWilliams will keep it this time around the corner. I'm reminded of something that Don Lindsay, the defensive coordinator at Alabama, said yesterday to us. If we can get them in 2nd and 7, then we've done a good job. They haven't done that. Here's Derek Thomas.
And we talked, John Doctor just talked about Derek Thomas at the point of attack. That time they did block him, and they blocked him just long enough to allow the ball carrier to get around him. So Derek Thomas has seen sometimes where he's not getting blocked at all, and other times the lead back is coming right into his shoulder pads.
Jim Young, the Army coach, at 2nd down and 4. Mayweather again, and it'll be 3rd and 1 as Mayweather plunges near the 40-yard line. Charles Gardner makes the tackle, number 3. What a gorgeous Christmas Eve in El Paso, Texas. Here for the John Hancock Sun Bowl. They don't have a sellout, but a very good crowd on hand here at the southern tip of the Rocky Mountains where the University of Texas El Paso plays its home games. Army leads at 7-0, a 1-yard run by Mike Mayweather at the end of a 70-yard drive, the highlight of which was a 52-yard run by the fullback, Ben Barnett. 3rd and 1. McWilliams, and that's another Army first down. And their whole philosophy is chew up the clock, go for first downs, long sustained drives. Jim Young said the faster the game is played, the better chance we have of winning.
And it's going exactly according to his plan right now. They are turning out those first downs, and they got the score, of course, on their first drive, and they're getting themselves into 3rd and 1s and 2s, and that's how wishbone teams win ball games.
This is the 2nd drive, and Army has now equaled the average number of yards that Alabama gives up per game. Fumble! And that is something that Army does not do. They've only lost 7 this year. Derek Thomas makes the tackle on McWilliams. And this, we talked about the offensive line being so small, and they are.
And they are. Runner, the center right there, only 240 pounds, but it's an offensive line. When you run the wishbone, again, you don't have to dominate the guys in front of you. You have to be finesse kind of blockers. You have to be able to get downfield and block safeties. And the 2 tackles from Army in particular do a beautiful job of doing that. 2nd
down and 10. First, 2nd and long in the game for Army. Mayweather. And now here is where Army is at a disadvantage. They've got a 3rd and 7 coming up as Willie Wyatt, number 98, makes the tackle. Defensively, there's Willie Wyatt, the nose tackle. And he's joined by Tommy Cole and George Bethune, numbers 51 and 59. 3rd down and 6. And the Cadets average only 47 yards passing per game. Nice job by Charles Gordon defensively to allow Derek Thomas to come up and make the tackle as Gordon took away the pitch.
And that is the key. When Gordon takes away the pitch, the quarterback has nowhere to go, and Derek Thomas played through a couple of blocks. You see, he doesn't stay blocked. That's the one thing you like about Derek Thomas. Even when he goes down, he doesn't stay blocked for very long. He gets up and makes the play.
That brings on Bit Rambush for the first punt for Army, and Murray Hill, number 45, is back to return. Fair catch called by Murray Hill at the 15 as he peers into the sun on Christmas Eve morning. That's a 38-yard punt for Rambush. Alabama has the ball back, trailing 7-0. West Point now for the past 6 years. He took a year out of coaching after he'd been at Purdue and said he wanted to get back in at West Point particularly because he wanted to restore the program and because of the great respect he had for the military tradition and the quality of athlete he would be coaching at the academy. Alabama's got the ball now, first down at the 15-yard line. They trail 7-0 with 5:55 to go. First quarter. David Smith with his backs in the eye. That's a toss to Murray Hill with Stewart leading the way around the left side. And Hill down by Troy Lingley, the aggressive linebacker. Offensive line now for the Crimson Tide, and they have a huge weight advantage. Roger Schultz is the center, though he doesn't have a big advantage. Larry Rose, the all-SEC performer, and Chris Robinette are the guards. The tackles do have definite weight advantages. Drew Morgan and Chapman.
285 each, and Bill Curry announces their weight each week in front of the whole team, and they applaud depending upon where they are at 285 or above.
Second down and 10. 2 new wide receivers are in, and Smith hands it off. Murray Hill tackles. He gets out near the 19 and 3rd and long, facing Alabama again. Defensive front for Army. The most emotional player on the ball club, Dan Cooney, is joined by Will Huff and Josh Haynes, who missed the Navy game, but is back in today. Lingley and Davey are the linebackers. And the secondary is Greg Gadsden. Other linebackers, Chuck Schrutzman. You met the secondary earlier. 3rd and 7, David Castile is the deep back in the eye. 7-0, Army leads. Play fake. Smith looks, fires right side. Caught by Greg Payne. That's a first down, Alabama at the 31.
Well, one of the great things that David Smith has done all year long is fake. And it's one of those subtle things, I think, that goes unnoticed much by many people, but also helps you win ball games. That time, he did a wonderful job of faking the ball to David Castile, and that allowed Greg Payne plenty of time to run that little hook route for the first down.
Second time Smith has found a receiver on 3rd and long. And it's first down, Alabama at the 32. 7-0. Army leads. Toss to the weak side of the field. David Castile, who alternates much of the game with Murray Hill, and this time it's good for a 2-yard gain before Will Huff, number 78, makes the stop.
You know, Vern, Roger Schultz there, the center for Alabama. Interesting guy. You know, lots of guys get themselves ready to play in different ways. Well, each week before his opponent, no matter who it is, he reminds himself how that school didn't recruit him. He was not a highly recruited guy, and that's how he gets himself ready. He's done a nice job all year.
I love the description that Homer Smith gave of him yesterday. Our center is small and round.
Looks like a cantaloupe with legs.
Smith back. Across the middle, dropped. Robert Stewart, the fullback, who's caught only 8 all season, tried to make it 9 and couldn't.
Although he's got very nice hands, he's a big guy, 253 pounds as a fullback, and has pretty soft hands. Amazing guy because he can get you tough yardage inside, yet he has generally soft hands to be able to catch the ball.
I wonder if he's met Craig Hayward.
For a meal?
Yeah. And who picked up the check? 3rd down and 8. 3:37 to go. First quarter. Again, a 3-man rush and no pressure on Smith, which allows him to find Greg Payne again. Cadets not putting any pressure on David Smith.
Well, now they're not, because the offensive line is doing a nice job of protecting him. But that was another example of David Smith throwing what I call as a catchable ball. You don't have to adjust much when David Smith is on. He throws most balls right in the numbers so that you just stick your hands out and you catch the ball. A lot of quarterbacks, you have to adjust here and there, but not with David Smith.
Smith is now 4 out of 8 for 56 yards. He's hitting 61% for the year. 1st and 10 at the 47. Crimson Tide have been across midfield once. They tried the dive play with the fullback, Kevin Turner, number 24, and he's out near the 50. Right now, let's go down and check in with John Dockery. John?
You know, 2 years ago, Vern, right here on this turf in the Sun Bowl against Washington, this man, Bobby Humphrey, had 3 touchdowns, including a 64-yarder. Now, you had the operation 6 weeks ago. Was it a success?
Yes, everything went well. I get x-rays started next week. You know, Dr. Fowler said everything went well with the surgery and everything.
You know, we're going to come back after this play. Back to you, though, Vern.
All right, John, we've got a 2nd down at the 50. 2nd down and 7. Smith with a play fake, and the blitz is on by Army. They go right again, and it's Greg Payne. That same little pattern worked well for the first down at the 36. We go back to John and Bobby.
Okay, Bobby, your plans for the future. You have an option. You can come back in a medical red shirt, or you can go pro. What are you going to do?
Well, as of now, I'm keeping everything just stable, just think about the whole situation, looking over all of, you know, the point of views that I can do and all the options that I have. And right now, I'm going to base my decision on how well the foot will be and how well it accomplish. How well the foot is. Okay, Vern.
All right, we wish him well regardless of the decision. First down, 10 now. Deepest penetration by Alabama. 4-man rush. Smith overthrows his intended receiver, Prince Wembley, one of 4 true freshmen who have participated for the Alabama Crimson Tide in '88.
Well, a name like Prince, you know he's got to be a wide receiver.
Absolutely.
Plays way out there.
2 things are sure. A guy named Lance and a guy named Prince are not going to be defensive tackles.
They play outside, that's right. But he's got a bright future in front of him, only a freshman in Alabama. They're very high on Prince.
Wembley, a freshman out of Miami, Florida. Turner and Hill, the backs now on 2nd down and 10. 2:46 to go. First quarter, 7-0 Army leads. Murray Hill, big hole. And he is finally cut down by O'Neal Miller at the 11-yard line. But a huge hole allows the 25-yard gain for Murray Hill, who, like Mike Mayweather of Army, is only 5'7", 170.
And look at the offensive line, particularly the right side. Robinette, the right guard, and Chapman, the right tackle. They block down, and then Larry Rose pulls the left guard and traps and clears the huge hole for Murray Hill to run through. Watch Larry Rose, number 74, right through the hole right there. And then again, he is small. He hides behind those big offensive linemen, and then he's got that tremendous burst off the cut, which Murray Hill has shown us all year long.
Player is injured at the 6-yard line, and while they tend to him, we'll take timeout with the score 7-0.
Expecting there was a kind of a man-for-man defense, which most teams use inside the 20, so they ran a crossing route, which is a good call against a man-for-man defense. However, Army ran the zone, change of pace, ran the zone, and it made it a tough throw for Smith.
3rd and 19 with 1:35 to go, first quarter. The Cadets lead 7-0. 3rd and 19 from the 20. 4-man rush, make the draw, go deep right side for Payne, incomplete. O'Neal Miller, number 14, defending.
O'Neal Miller was really the concern of Homer Smith and the coaching staff on offense at Alabama. He's playing free safety, but that time he made the play on Greg Payne. He's done a great job so far in this game supporting the run, and that time covering the corner route by Payne.
That will bring on Philip Doyle, who will attempt a 37-yard field goal out of Chris Moore's hold. Doyle, 19 of 31 for the year. That's good. But Alabama does have to settle for 3. After they had obtained a 1st and 10 from the 11. The 37-yard field goal by Philip Doyle narrows the margin to 7-3, 1:25 to go, first quarter. A CBS Sports Sunday Special Edition Winterfest coming up on Sunday, featuring World Cup skiing from Val d'Isere, France. Billy Kidd, a neighbor of mine in Steamboat Springs, is going to be a part of that, and he talked about it the other day. Said it was a very interesting program for Val d'Isere. The World Junior Figure Skating Championships also on, and interviews with speed skater Dan Jansen and ski jumper Eddie the Eagle Edwards. That's all followed by the NBA, the Lakers, at the Utah Jazz. And do not equate the athletic talents of Eddie the Eagle Edwards with Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
But you'll see them both on Sunday. Jerry Sloan, of course, has taken over for Frank Layden at the Utah Jazz. And I think all of us will miss Frank Layden's personality in the NBA. He's still associated with the Jazz, of course, but not on the bench. Doyle will kick off in this 7-3 ball game, and Mike Mayweather and Adrian Oliver are deep. Mayweather. Big hole. Nice return out to the 31-yard line. Tackle made by Jimbo Salem on the 30-yard return, and we go down to John.
The Mules. Yeah, Vern, remember I mentioned the Mules will be here. Well, they have made it. It's not Spartacus and Blackjack, but rather 2 replacement Mules who got here late locally off waivers, and their names are Solomon and, this is for real, Miss Elegant Ass. Now back to you, Vern.
Merry Christmas.
It's all yours, John.
Yeah, thank you, John. Mike Mayweather, that's a great lead line. Mike Mayweather carries out to the 34-yard line. And I'm not going to ask which was which.
Well, Mike Mayweather is a terrific young man. Talking to him yesterday, he's saying playing on this team is a lot like being in the Army. You're really playing for the guy next to you. And you really get that sense of team when you're around this cadet squad.
2nd down and 8. 7-3. Army leads it. Final minute, first quarter. They try the fullback, and the Crimson Tide defense stiffens this time as Barnett is stopped at the 35-yard line.
He was stopped, I think, inside by Keith McCants and by Derek Thomas. But Keith McCants, I think, is going to be the one who succeeds Derek Thomas as the next great linebacker at Alabama. Of course, there was Cornelius, then Derek, and then I think Keith McCants will be the next guy.
McCants got up to 262 pounds in the spring, and it didn't affect his speed at all.
Still ran a 4.5.
3rd and 6. 7-3, Army leads it. They try Mayweather. No, it's Barnett again. And as you saw early, he doesn't have great speed, allowing Kermit Kendrick to catch up with him, but that is a 25-yard run for the fullback to complement the 51-yarder he had to set up the first touchdown.
But it's been the sequencing of plays which has really been the key here as Barnett comes up and everybody thought it was the outside. He broke through a tackle. Osmond, number 42, missed the tackle, and it was only Kendrick who came from the backside to prevent a long, long run.
That's the end of the first quarter in the John Hancock Sun Bowl with our score, Army 7, Alabama 3. CBS Sports will return after this message and a word from your local station. Morning for the first time ever, and Army has a 7-3 lead rather over Alabama, and the football with a first down and 10 following Ben Barnett's 25-yard run. They have the ball at the 40-yard line. Barnett now with 81 yards on 5 carries. And why not? They'll give it to him again. As the junior from Roanoke, Virginia, plunges down into the 33-yard line. Let's bring you up to date on what's happened thus far. Mike Mayweather, 31 yards and a touchdown so far for the Cadets. Alabama, 114 total yards. The Army rushing defense averaging 96 yards. It should be the Alabama rushing defense averaging 96 yards per game, and Army is well beyond that already. Quarterback keeper, McWilliams down to the 30. Keith McCants, number 86, makes the tackle.
Vern, I don't think Jim Young, as a head coach at Army, gets enough credit. He's really doing something right. He's obviously won as a head coach at Arizona, he won as a head coach at Purdue, and really done a great job at Army. He doesn't get the most highly skilled athlete, but he's designed an offense, he runs an offense and defense that fits the kind of players and personnel that he has perfectly, and he plays to their strengths, and that's discipline and intensity.
Jim Young switched to the wishbone in his second year at Army. He said it's the best offense we can run for the type of athlete we can recruit. Fake to the fullback, McWilliams still has the pitch available, he'll keep. And cuts down to the 10, to the 5, touchdown Army! In the long, wonderful history of Army, no Army football team has ever won 10 games in a single season. And here are the Cadets, 2 touchdown underdogs, about to go up 14-3 after that 30-yard McWilliams run. 5'4" Keith Walker, the senior from Toms River, New Jersey, will try the extra point.
I love guys who overcome some adversity. Brian McWilliams started this year as the 3rd-team quarterback of this team. He started camp as actually one of 11 quarterbacks, but he has really made a difference since the 3rd game of the season this year. He's got very good speed, and what he has is nice vision, too, and he doesn't lose speed when he makes the cut. When he cut back inside there, he didn't waste any time, and he accelerated through some arm tackles. Again, watch the left halfback right here block McCants right here, and that is the key. Anytime there's a big play in the wishbone, one of the lead backs is going to throw the key block. McCants goes down because of a block by Cass, and Cass is one of the most unselfish players on this Army team. 2
other keys to that play. Charles Gardner, the safety, went for the eye fake and took the pitch man, and then for the 2nd time in this drive, we saw Lee Osmond, the roverback, overplayed and get out of position.
You know, the wishbone is a strange formation. It's one of the few times you see defensive players running away from the ball carrier because they have responsibility for the pitch, the fullback, etc. And that's what happened there to Charles Gardner.
30-yard touchdown run. And this ground attack led by Brian McWilliams has ripped open the Alabama defense in the first quarter in a minute. 166 yards on the ground already. Rambush with the kick. Good and Kent with the deep men. And this is Pierre Good. And through the haze of the howitzer, he is down at the 27-yard line. 27-yard return. A week from Monday, Matt and I will be in Dallas for the Cotton Bowl Classic. UCLA and Arkansas, and of course Troy Aikman making a visit to what apparently will become his home for the next 20 years. The quarterback of UCLA probably going to be the #1 pick of the Dallas Cowboys. That's coming up next Monday.
And Arkansas, I don't think, has gotten the respect it deserves this season.
Smith back. Caught and dropped. Dan Cooney, number 69. The most emotional player defensively for the Cadets. And 8 members of his family are here. Dan is the middle of 11 kids. He's right in the middle. 2 older brothers, 2 older sisters, 3 younger brothers, 3 younger sisters.
He said with all those sisters, 6 of them, we never got a chance to use the bathroom. We had to get a number.
From Cape Cod area in Massachusetts. Dan Cooney makes the sack. Second down at 20. 14-3 Army. Smith across the middle. And it's caught by Kevin Turner out near the 28-yard line. They get the original yardage back.
And we're talking about guys who've overcome adversity. Dan Cooney, the man who just made the sack on the previous play, is one of those guys. His freshman year at the academy had a tough time with chemistry as he runs off the field. Actually failed it twice. Had to leave Army, went to Providence College, passed chemistry. It would have been easy for him not to come back, but he did because it means so much to him. He's had a great year.
3 of 5 on third down conversions. 3rd and 9 here. Smith out of the shotgun, flag down. And the pass tipped away by O'Neal Miller. Nice play. Now we'll see whose option it might be. Mike Thorson comes over and slaps Miller on the back. Reaction from the Alabama indicates offside. Army, another shot a little closer in for Alabama.
The surprising thing in this game so far to me, Vern, has been what's been happening in the lines. We expected Alabama to be able to control the defensive line of Army.
Defense, offsides, still 3rd down.
And be able to dominate that line of scrimmage, but because they're running so much to the tight end side and Army is slanting that way, they're taking away most of those runs, and Alabama is going to have to make that adjustment and run back to the weak side away from the tight end.
Bill Curry said this has been a season filled with grim determination, and that's how his team must approach what they've got now. Down 14-3. 3rd and 4, Smith back. Being chased by Thorson, lets it go, caught. And again, they go to Greg Payne for the 3rd down conversion. So making excellent use of the new opportunity, Alabama picks up a 1st down at the 40.
The nice things that Greg Payne has done this year, he's a very smart receiver. Anytime on 3rd down when he catches the ball, he knows exactly how many yards he needs to get that 1st down, and he'll run the route at the right depth. A lot of receivers don't do that, and you end up in 4th and 1 a lot, but not Greg Payne.
1st down 10 at the 40, 12:20 to go, 1st half. Backs in the eye. And a 5-2 look. Now 6-man front for the Cadets. Give it to the fullback. And Kevin Turner gets out near the 45-yard line. Tackle made by Troy Lingley, the senior out of Georgetown, Illinois, number 45.
We mentioned Troy Lingley a couple of times, and we said how he was a walk-on, and he is so proud because he was just elected captain of this Army defense, and it was a long trail for him, a guy who came from walk-on to be elected captain. He said, hey, I am a leader among leaders, and that means an awful lot to me.
2nd down, 4. 11:40 to go. 14-3. Army leads. Backs in the eye. Smith will throw. No, he hands it off in the draw play. Big hole for Murray Hill. And just is down. Boy, he was a step away from scoring.
And Vern, you caught it, though. You thought David Smith had the ball. And we talked about his ball handling, and everything looks the same when he's faking it and when he is dropping back. But watch the Army defense. They don't slant this time. Take a little bit step to the left, and they get dominated. But again, the faking by David Smith makes this draw play work so well. A nice hole there for Murray Hill.
That's a 19-yard gain for Murray Hill. He's got 52 on the ground now in the first half. And out of the shotgun on 1st and 10, Smith back. Drills it again to Greg Payne. That's the 5th catch for Payne in the first half of play, and O'Neal Miller, number 14, makes the tackle. Let's check in with John Dockery.
You know, Vern, I mentioned before about Larry New gathering the defense together. Well, he said, keep your poise. This time, he gathered them together and got in their face and said, hey, Willie Wyatt and the defensive front get some penetration. Then after that, Bill Curry came by and also talked to him about gang tackling. So they're a little worried about the Alabama defense here on the sidelines. Back to you, Vern.
All right, John, 2nd down and 5. Alabama trails 14-3. They've got a threat going now. And that tackle is made on Murray Hill as he gets inside the 30. Tackle is made by Greg Gadsden, number 98 for Army.
And Vern, because the Alabama defense is having such a tough time now, it's very important for the Alabama offense on this drive to maintain possession, keep their defense off the field, but then once they get down inside the 20, get the ball into the end zone, score that touchdown.
On Christmas Eve morning, we're in El Paso, Texas, the John Hancock Sun Bowl. Army running almost at will with a 14-3 lead over Alabama. 3rd and 2, and Pierre Good is back at tailback now, number 2. Again, he was a high school phenom at this position, has been a wide receiver, and here's Good with the toss. Stewart in front, 1st down, but flags on the play. Back at the line of scrimmage.
Bill Curry and Homer Smith, the offensive coordinator at Alabama, were expecting big things out of Pierre Good, and because he has so much speed, they have to get them in their offense one way or another, give him a chance to make a big play.
Motion call against Alabama.
That'll happen from time to time when you get in bowl games, Vern. You haven't played in a few weeks.
Illegal procedure on the offense. Still 3rd down.
3rd and 7 now. Interesting. Bill Curry said he did something he wasn't sure about this week. He had his team back in pads, and they had heavy contact in their practices because they hadn't played it so long. And he wasn't sure how they'd react to that. 3rd and 7, 14-3. Army leads it. Blitz is coming. Smith goes left side, man open. Lamond Russell, number 81, makes the catch inside the 10. 1st down, Alabama.
Lamond Russell makes great adjustments on the ball. You're going to see David Smith, after good pass protection, throw the corner out to Russell. He is a 2nd tight end, but watch him adjust to the ball. Some guys just have a knack to be able to do that, and Russell is one of those guys. Adjusted to the ball, made a nice play.
Listed as a tight end, but a man with 4.5 speed at 6'1", 196. Plays in the slot formation most of the time. Split backs. 1st and goal, Alabama, trailing 14-3. 9:27 to go, 1st half. Looks like an audible by David Smith at the line. They hand it off to David Castile. He is tripped behind the line by Gadsden, and then is knocked down at the 6.
Very important for Alabama to get the ball into the end zone because this Army offense has been so good in the first half.
And again, the thought goes back to the point made by Homer Smith. We are terrible inside the 20. And the last time they were here, they had a holding call and had to settle for 3 points. Murray Hill, Robert Stewart, the running backs now. Battle left and Payne to the right on 2nd and goal from the 7. They'll try the man mountain up the middle. And Stewart, all 253 pounds, rolls down to the 4, where Will Huff, number 78, makes the tackle.
Will Huff really got off the ball, came in there like a rock slide, fought through a couple of guys to make the play. He's a guy who's very good on this slant defense that Army uses.
Now Wayne Shaw is a late arrival. Nope, he's going to come back out of the lineup. Will Huff, you saw Shaw started in, then came out. Power eye set. Alabama 5 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. They've got a 3rd and goal now from the 4. And another audible by David Smith. 3 seconds to get the play snap. They do. And they run the option, and Smith is caught. And again, Bill Curry's team will have to settle for an attempt for 3.
give the Army defense some credit, and it was number 98, Gatson, Greg Gatson, the outside linebacker, who made the play, but too much penetration early. Alabama tried to run the option play, but David Smith could not get the ball pitched.
Gatson, a senior out of Chesapeake, Virginia. And a 22-yard effort now for Philip Doyle, who has kicked 1 of 37 already in the game. Chris Moore will hold. Perfect. But the story is the Army defense inside the 10 as they hold again and force Alabama into a field goal, but that does narrow the margin to 14-6.
That's what Army Spirit's all about.
For 1,000 yards this year, and many of those yards came inside, where he told us he loves to run.
I do it, but I prefer to run inside. I think my size helps me in that respect because guys don't see me when I'm on them, and even when I'm there, you know, most of the guys are 6'2", 210, and they have a tough time of really getting a good hit on me. And so I just run right up on them and say, "Come on, give me your best shot." And usually they're still trying to get down, and so I get away.
Mike Mayweather, whose teammate and best friend at St. Louis Country Day High School was Joe Buck, the son of Jack Buck, one of our great colleagues and fine announcers at CBS. Here's the kick by Doyle, and Mayweather takes it 2 yards in and will return it. Out near the 28-yard line. 23-yard return. NFC wildcard game coming up Monday. The Rams, Pat Hayden's former team, against the Vikings, who held on to beat Chicago and retain the wildcard berth. No rooting interest for you in that.
I may be a little biased, but I like the Rams. I think they are coming in playing as well as anybody in the NFL, and I know you like Minnesota, but I'm going to take the Rams.
It's only my Scandinavian heritage. That's all it is. First down and 10. Left side, Mayweather. And he's out near the 27-yard line. Army with 166 yards already on the ground. They've gone left 6 times, up the middle with Barnett. And it's been Barnett who's been a factor in this ballgame.
And give the center, Frank Brunners, a lot of credit. Anytime your fullback is picking up that kind of yardage inside, your center has to be doing a nice job.
And Brunner, one of the keys, according to Jim Shuck, the offensive coordinator for Army in this game. Second down and 6, McWilliams. And he's out across the 30 near the 32-yard line. And Army will have about a 3rd and 2, which is what they love.
Exactly. 3rd and 2 is Army's kind of down. Anytime you get in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, you need great athletes at quarterback and wide receiver and in the skill positions. Army doesn't have those kinds of guys, but if they get you in 3rd and 2, they can beat anybody in America.
Total offense, 117 yards passing and 59 on the ground. Army, that 0 is not going to change by much in this ballgame. They only average 40 yards a game through the air. And they've got a first down on the ground again, out near the 34.
The wishbone, too, does for you, Vern, is you don't have negative plays. And, again, that's what the Alabama defense has feasted on all year, is creating negative plays. I think they've had over 300 rushes, but only one of those have they been caught for a loss.
One of the things I find extraordinary about Jim Young's wishbone offense is 7 lost fumbles in 11 games. For a wishbone team, that's just outrageous.
Because you think about the Oklahoma teams that turn the ball over so much, but it's because the quarterback, Brian McWilliams, makes the right decisions.
1st and 10 Army with a 14-6 lead. There's McWilliams with the pitch. Calvin Cass gets the carry for one of the first times. A fumble. Was the ball down? Yes, it was. McCants of Alabama argues with that decision. Kermit Kendrick, number 27, made the tackle.
Calvin Cass is the right halfback in the wishbone formation, and with most wishbone formations, the right halfback doesn't carry the ball much because with quarterbacks being right-handed, they usually pitch the ball when they run to their right, but he's done a great job of blocking on the year.
Second down and 3, hit behind the line, and Barnett. Interesting, Ben Barnett, and you've seen him run with great abandon in this ball game, has now carried the ball 307 times in his career. That's up to date. And in those 307 carries, he has lost yardage exactly once. And that was one time against Lafayette this year for a yard.
He's got a great body lean about him. He's always moving forward, and he leans his body forward, so he's not going to get caught for many losses.
3rd and 1. Calvin Cass. And that looks like it'll be another Army first down. Boy, they do roll. That seems appropriate for an Army team on the ground.
You hope the Army's good on the ground, yeah. But Alabama, if they're going to stop this wave, so to speak, they're going to have to do a much better job on first down defense. They need some penetration so that they're not gaining 4, 5, 6 yards on first down.
Wave, huh? First down and 10. 4:45 to go first half. And the pitch, Calvin Cass around the corner and out of bounds to stop the clock at the 47. Interesting, Pat, you and I were guests at the Sun Bowl luncheon here on Thursday. The guest speaker was the most illustrious graduate athletically of the Naval Academy, Roger Staubach. There were two things in my life I never thought I would see. The Dallas Cowboys finishing dead last in the NFL, and Roger Staubach being the guest speaker at a banquet honoring Army. And they both happened in the same month. Second down and 7. Oh, McCants comes in and makes the tackle right as the pitch is made. And Mayweather, after the great pitch by McWilliams, gets a first down.
That was a nice play by Brian McWilliams, the quarterback from Army. As you see here, you see instant pressure quickly by McCants, number 86, and McWilliams has to make up his mind quickly. And that's one of the things in the option. I don't think quarterbacks get enough credit for reading defenses. I always talk about passers, but the option quarterbacks have to read defenses just as well.
First down 10, 14-6, Army leads. They are 9-2 coming into the ball game. They counterplay right side. And again, the magic in the backfield works effectively. This time it's John Mangum with the tackle, number 29.
Amazed at how well Army has run on first down as Mayweather is slow getting up. But they take very large line splits. You'll see that from the Army team. Large line splits creating holes.
Mike Mayweather down for the second time in the ball game. He was injured early and came back. Positions are out on the field and time has been called.
Nate Rose is a study in determination. He's a junior out of Riverside, California. In his 3 years at Army, he has not had a chance to play a down yet. But he prepares himself each week with the belief that he may get that chance. He's practiced hard for 3 years, and he's hoping that opportunity is going to come today.
Jim Young has suited up 129 cadets for this game, so Rich St. Rose is not the only man about whom that story could be told, but one of several. 2-a-days, practice every day, plus the academics. Here's Calvin Cass with a halfback pass. Man wide open, Sean Gordon, and he overthrows him. Oh, they had it set up perfectly.
But, Vern, I'm a little surprised, Cass being a right-hander running that play to the left, if he didn't have to adjust and turn his hip so much, for example, if he were going to the right, it would have been a much easier throw for Cass.
That's an incomplete pass, and Gordon was down there.
Here you're going to see Cass, although Jordan is wide open, he has to turn his hips. He throws the ball a little bit too much on a line drive, didn't get enough air on it, but Jordan was wide open for an easy score.
That is the first pass of the day, the third time Calvin Cass has thrown a pass this year, and he has yet to complete it, so they might store that one for 89. That may be why he hasn't completed it. They keep running it left. And off to Barnett again. Oh, boy, have they worked that fullback well. Lee Osmond, number 42, makes the tackle.
Again, Bill Gephardt, the left guard, and Frank Brunner, the center, have done a very nice job of controlling the people inside to allow Barnett. Watch these guys inside as they create a couple of holes for Barnett to find his way. Double team on the left side there, and Barnett reads that double team so well and hugs that block for the big game.
The handoff goes left side down to the 25-yard line. Charles Gardner makes the tackle. Calvin Cass, the ball carrier. And Army with a 14-6 lead. They came in as 14-point underdogs. 9-2. The only losses this year for the Cadets came in game number 2 at Washington. And they almost came back and tied that game up late. They lost it 31-17. And then they went to Dublin, Ireland in the Emerald Isle Classic and really were blown out by Boston College. That's the one game in which they did not have much of a chance to win. That play is stuffed near the line of scrimmage as Derek Thomas, number 55. First time we've called his name in this quarter, I think.
Well, again, they've optioned off him and they've run away from him some, but I have seen Derek Thomas play a number of times this year, and I do admire about him is he plays just as hard on first down as he does on 3rd and 8. It's easy to get up on 3rd and 8, but he plays hard every down.
3rd and 5 right now. Quick pass, incomplete. That's a pretty good example of why Army doesn't throw the ball much.
Last in Division 1A. It's 104 teams in Division 1A, and they rank 104th in passing.
Well, here's one reason they don't. When they throw the ball 6 times or less in Jim Young's career with the wishbone, they're 25-0. When they throw it 9 times or less, 34-4. When they have to go to 10 passes or more, they're not very good. 3, 15, and 1. 41-yard field goal attempt now for Keith Walker, who is 15 of 18 for the year, and that's blocked. That was deflected.
It may have been Derek Thomas.
And if so, it's the 6th block in his career.
3rd this year. I think that's a remarkable statistic if, in fact, it were Derek, but he blocked 5 kicks coming into the game.
I think it was Derek Thomas. And that's number 6 in the career. Watch him on the left side of the screen.
A lot of guys can beat you different ways. He can do it sacking the quarterback, blocking kicks as he did right there. But that is a remarkable statistic. 6 block kicks in his career at Alabama.
1:47 to go first half, and it stays 14-6. The man stands 6'4", 230 pounds, and yet that is the 6th time he has blocked a kick in his career.
You know, Don Lindsay, we were talking about Derek Thomas and said, what makes him different? He said he plays with great passion, loves the game of football. It's obvious to see.
1st and 10, Alabama trailing 14-6 here in the John Hancock Sun Bowl. Out of the shotgun, David Smith looks to his left and fires it, and it's incomplete. Through the hands of Lamond Russell, who had to dive for the ball, but appeared it might have been catchable.
That ball should have been caught by Russell, but with 1:41 left, I think it's very important for Alabama to get something on the scoreboard before halftime. I think they are very much surprised with how well Army is running the football, so it's important for David Smith and his offense to get a drive and get a touchdown on the board.
2nd down, 10. Front for the Cadets. Very little pressure. Smith drills it. That's caught by Prince Wembley, and he's got a first down to the 42. Wembley, who had caught only 4 coming in, and that's a 19-yard gain.
Everything has been under 30 yards that David Smith has thrown today, as you can see, but he's a very accurate thrower, throwing underneath the coverage. But Army's done a pretty good job of putting some heat on David Smith, particularly in the first quarter.
3-man front now, prevent defense in for the Cadets on 1st and 10. And Smith with an absence of pressure again. Has time, and that could have been intercepted. That's a coulda, shoulda, woulda. And O'Neal Miller had it slip right through his hands.
Well, O'Neal Miller has had a very nice first half, both stuffing the run. He's very quick to support on the run, and he's made 2 nice plays in pass coverage in the first half as well.
This is an Army defense that has intercepted 17 passes over the year, and Miller has 4 of them, but not then. 2nd down at 10, 1:20 to go. This time a regular set, I formation, and a play fake from Smith back. And again in the zone, and Howard Cross takes a pop from O'Neal Miller.
You can't say enough about O'Neal Miller and how well he is playing the free safety position, as Howard Cross is a little slow getting up. This ball is pretty well thrown by David Smith, and Howard Cross has huge hands. Initially makes the catch, and then is just stuffed by Miller. But Miller does a great job of reading the quarterback's eye and driving on the play.
That's a 6', 165-pounder in Miller going into 250-pound Howard Cross. Time is called. And Ed Schultz, one of the many wonderful stories among the cadet football team. First man to earn 5 letters at Army since 1929. He also overcame great adversity and had a special moment on Thursday when he was commissioned as a 2nd lieutenant in the regular Army. His teammates gathered around. In 1986, Ed Schultz overcame Hodgkin's disease.
It made me realize the people who, there's a lot of people that were less fortunate than me who were, are sick and don't come out of it as well as I did. And I feel for them. Also, maybe my story may help some little kid or something who got sick himself. Maybe see that as he can come back too.
He was once a starting tackle because of the diminished lung capacity. He moved to tight end and is now listed as a third-teamer, but he's a second lieutenant, and it's quite a story.
And Bernie said it's a very special Christmas for him.
3rd down and 10, Alabama. Play fake, Smith back. Has time again. And has a man open. That's a 1st down. As Greg, it's Marco Battle, not Greg Payne. And Alabama does move the chain.
And boy, did Marco Battle do a nice job of coming back to the ball. He gets into those soft zones in the defense, but he didn't wait around for the ball to arrive. He took 2 steps back to the quarterback to make the catch with his hands.
1:05 to go in the half. 14-6. Army leads it. 1st and 10 at the 43. That's caught. Battle again. 1st down at the 22.
And David Smith did a nice job of looking the defense off. He looked right first. The safety went that way. Then he found Battle again on the left side. It's one of those little subtle things a quarterback can do to help his team. Just look that free safety off. That gave Battle a chance to find a soft spot where the safety left and make the catch.
Time has been called by the Crimson Tide as David Smith comes over to chat with David Curry. Coming up tomorrow, a CBS Sports Sunday Special Edition Winterfest featuring World Cup skiing from Val. Special Edition Winterfest featuring World Cup skiing from Val d'Isère, France, the World Junior Figure Skating Championships, and interviews with speed skater Dan Jansen in the United States and ski jumper Eddie the Eagle Edwards. That's at 2 o'clock Eastern Time tomorrow, and it'll be followed by the NBA on CBS as John Stockton and the Jazz take on Magic Johnson and the Los Angeles Lakers. Lakers lost 4 in a row before going back home and winning their first.
Yeah, but Magic's still having a great year.
Yes, he is.
He is having maybe his best year, some people are saying. What a great young man he is. Done an awful lot out in the community, believe me, in Los Angeles, Magic Johnson has.
Well, that's coming up tomorrow. And as we resume play before this not quite full house on Christmas Eve morning in El Paso, Texas, the Alabama Crimson Tide will have a 1st down at the 21 with 54 seconds to go.
And 1 timeout remaining.
Shotgun again. 5-man front for Army, and they show a blitz look, see if they drop back. They do. No blitz. Smith, man open again. Payne. Well, he's finding the holes in the zone now.
Absolutely, but it's tougher and tougher to find those holes against the zone defense when you get inside the 10-yard line.
That tackle made by Mike Thorson. 47 seconds to go.
Good pass protection for David Smith has been a key to the last couple of completions.
On the 1st down, the clock stops. Now it's started. This time they're coming. Smith in the end zone. Touchdown. Marco Battle. And that is his first touchdown catch of the year.
Vern, some quarterbacks beat you with their arm. David Smith can do it with his head.
Jim Nance liked it. And he'll probably talk about it in just a couple of minutes coming up at halftime. Marco Battle from David Smith. And now Alabama will not go for 2. They'll settle for Philip Doyle's extra point try.
Vern, what David Smith does so well is find the right receiver to throw to very quickly. A lot of quarterbacks take time, but Smith finds his guy quickly. First he looks to his left, nothing is there. He comes right back after the blitz. He saw the blitz inside. He knew he was going to get man-for-man coverage. And Marco Battle had run the post route, and that's right where David Smith went.
Ernest Boyd, number 37, appeared to have responsibility for him. Let's look.
What you're going to see the blitz in here, but Battle comes right inside. Good protection here for David Smith. But again, the key, the free safety was out covering the halfback because he had to on the blitz. That left the middle wide open for Battle.
And the touchdown comes with 35 seconds to go in the first half. Marco Battle from Phoenix City, Alabama. That is his first touchdown catch of the year. And he was a big factor in that last drive. 14-13 Army.
That is a big emotional lift for the Tide as they go into halftime, and it's probably going to carry over to the second half for them. Mayweather
and Henry and Oliver are deep for Army as Doyle kicks off. Strip kick. Taken short at the 35-yard line. John out near the 35-yard line.
With 31 seconds remaining and 3 timeouts. Remember, Army does not throw the football, but if they can come up with a big play, they have a chance in their option game.
Got a moment? Let's go down to John Ducker.
You know, Vern, you and Pat were talking about that last touchdown. Well, the cornerback Boyd was expecting help inside from the free safety Miller. As a matter of fact, after the play, they were arguing with one another. But as Pat pointed out, the free safety had to cover the back out of the backfield, so a mistake by the corner. Back to you.
Here's a reverse to Sean Gordon, and that doesn't work either. In the final 30 seconds of the half, Spencer Hammond, number 44, makes the tackle, and then a flag flies on the far side. Little battle broke out. Mike Braun looked like he was part of it, number 72 for Army. Big 8 officiating crew today.
Dead ball, personal, flight. First down.
That's about as succinct an explanation of a penalty as I have ever heard.
He is very low-key, isn't he,
Dead ball,
Louderback?
Personal fall, white. Pretty well summarized.
Sounds like Ray Scott.
Boyd, Dowler, touchdown.
Now all of a sudden, though, Vern, Army has a chance maybe to get 3 on the board before halftime. 19 seconds remaining with 3 timeouts left.
Jim Young is arguing about the scoreboard clock, which on a dead ball foul was allowed to restart and is down to 14 seconds. The clock was running.
Should go back to 18 seconds, I believe.
And here comes J.C. Louderback heading for the telephone. And while he converses upstairs, here's the dead ball foul. There it was.
Well, that wasn't much of a foul, was it?
No.
They called it on Derek Thomas. He was going at Mike Braun, but he didn't look like much of a personal foul to me.
It's been suggested that that was an impersonal foul. Here's Louderback, who's hunting desperately for the phone. Somewhere down there is... I know we installed one. And so there's a wait here.
Jim Young is right. That clock should not have started, and 4 seconds elapsed. They should reset it to 18, and that's what Louderback is trying to get squared away.
Well, we're back to semaphores, which seems appropriate here in the Southwest. He's using hand signals, smoke signals, and here's a headset. He was using hand signals up to the booth, trying to indicate how many seconds should be left. Now they've apparently reset it at 19 seconds. Millions and millions and millions of dollars, and it's 4 fingers and 5 fingers. And Jim Young won his debate. Boy, he was quick to spot that clock running down, though. 14-13, Army over Alabama.
Walker's longest kick of the year for a field goal was 46 yards, so they're still going to need maybe 10 or 15 yards to give them a chance to kick a field goal.
And again, the only 2 passes have been incomplete thus far. There's the toss to Calvin Cass. Oh, boy. Out of bounds at the 32, so now they've got a 49-yard possibility. Keith McCants makes the tackle, and still 15 seconds remaining.
And a nice change of pace running the option play into the boundary. They'd run that into the wide side of the field a couple times. That time they ran into the boundary. Beautifully timed by McWilliams on the pitch to Cass.
Keith Walker getting set in case he gets a chance. McWilliams almost intercepted at the 10-yard line. Intended for Doug Baker, the tight end who's caught 7 this year, and Lee Osmond was back defending. And 11 seconds remain.
You're really asking a quarterback, Brian McWilliams, to do something he's not comfortable doing, and that is throwing the football in this situation. They've had some success running the option play and pitch play. I think that's what McWilliams ought to be doing now rather than throwing it.
And Army does have timeouts remaining. They go to the weak side again, and Calvin Cass is out of bounds to stop the clock inside the 30 at the 27, and that ought to bring on Walker.
What a nice block he got by Mike Mayweather. Again, the lead back.
So the penalty, the personal foul, allowed Army the opportunity to get inside. And Derek Thomas blocked the last attempt by Keith Walker. This will be a 44-yard field goal. And it's blocked again.
Derek Thomas blocked it again.
That's 2 in the first half as the clock sounds.
That is incredible. Derek Thomas gets out on the wide side of the defense. Normally it's defensive backs out there, but he got a great jump on the ball and blocked his second field goal attempt. Bottom of the screen. Watch how quickly he gets off the ball. And ordinarily it's tiny little defensive backs that try to do that, but again, he is 6'4", 230 pounds. What a player. And
as he told us, he plays with passion. There's an example of it at the end of the half with our score. Army 14-13. Jim Nance back with the College Football Report after this message and a word from your local station. Time we begin quarter number 3 as Britt Rambush will kick off for Army, and the deep man is Pierre Good, number 2 for the Alabama Crimson Tide. 232 yards on the ground in the first half for this Army football team. Alabama got a late touchdown and then blocked another field goal, and here's the kick. Good drifts back and takes it 4 yards into the end zone and will come out. And it turned out to be an unwise decision. Moments ago, John Dockery talked with Alabama coach Bill Curry about what he said at halftime.
What'd you tell him at the half? Well, we got to do away with the stupid penalties. We've got to get to our assignment and tackle people, and we got to connect. We've had people wide open. We've missed them. We did have a decent drive there toward the end, but we got to play much better in the second half to win this game.
David Smith threw for 193 yards in the first half and got the touchdown to Marco Battle. He'll operate from the shotgun on first down from the 14. 5-man rush, and Smith goes right side to Greg Payne, who caught it out of bounds. It's an incomplete pass. Houston Oilers has scored on the Cleveland Browns up in Cleveland, 7-3 now in the AFC wildcard game. That game still in the second quarter.
Interesting that Alabama comes out to open the second half in a shotgun formation down deep in their own territory. Clearly they think they can throw those out passes, which they did some in the first half. That time David Smith was a little bit wide with the throw.
They'll hand it off this time to Wayne Shaw, number 43, who is the third-team fullback, and he gets out near the 20-yard line. We have an injury report from the Alabama bench. Robert Stewart is out for the game with a bruised knee, so Kevin Turner and Wayne Shaw will apparently rotate at that position. Shaw, a senior from Tullahoma, Tennessee, a 204-pounder. It'll be 3rd down and 4 now, 3rd and 3 officially. Backs in the eye, 14-13, Army leads. Cornerback blitz. Shaw being chased by Thorson, and it's incomplete as Mike Thorson, number 40, applied a bit of pressure on the blind side of David Smith. There's Mike Thorson. Talk about your student athletes. His grade point average at West Point, 4.021. That's above perfect because of the A+. He's not a perfect student, though. He had an A- in swimming.
Reminds me of one of the guys I played with in college. He had 3 F's and a D, and the head coach pulled him aside and said, "Son, I think you're spending a little too much time in one subject."
Classmate of yours?
Good player, though.
Paul Wynn. And he's dropped at the 37-yard line. Coming up a week from Monday, Pat and I will be in Dallas for the Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic, live at 1:30 Eastern Time, UCLA and Arkansas. Troy Aikman visits Dallas for a week prior to apparently spending much of the remaining days of his active athletic career there. UCLA and Troy Donahue. Terry Donahue.
There you go.
There's a mistake for which I'll apologize. First down and 10. Wishbone team, 232 yards in the first half. McWilliams keeps, rounds the corner out to the 44. Watch the last punt by Chris Moore.
All punters, believe me, can be fit. Some punters can be physical. They're not all wimps. Look at him hang in there and battle the Army team. Chris Moore has done a remarkable job this year kicking the football, and that time being physical.
Hit Darrell Sherb and knocked it backwards. 2nd down and 4. And again, the keeper by McWilliams. Close to the first down at the 48-yard line. McWilliams out of Lincoln, Nebraska. George Bethune makes the tackle.
Here's how the wishbone has gone. The halfback pitch, that's been what they have featured. But a lot of the tough yards have come inside by the fullback. You see most of the yards there. A little bit surprising to me that Army's been able to do that because this Alabama defense has been so good all year long. But they're forced to play a different kind of defense. They can't be nearly as aggressive playing a wishbone team.
14th first down for the Cadets of West Point. They have a 14-13 lead, 13:26 remaining. McWilliams, a 5'10", 180-pounder, a very quiet young man. And he pitches back to Mayweather, who is anything but quiet. Mayweather, he of the bubbly personality. We were laughing with him yesterday about his polished shoes. He said he keeps a pair, especially for inspections, hidden away. Let's go down to...
He's got about 3 pair of shoes. He says when he knows the inspections are coming up, he wears the plastic ones with a real nice shine on them.
Wonder if he'll try and get those boots past an inspection. 2nd down and 6. Now let's go down to John Dockery.
You know, Vern, coming out of the locker room, I had a chance to talk to Derek Thomas. I said, Derek, what's the problem? Army's moving the ball so well on you. He smiled and said, you know, we've never seen the wishbone run at this kind of speed. In practice, it was much slower, but big smile came to his face. We have it figured out now. You'll see it in the second half. So we'll find out, Vern.
Well, that's interesting that he said Army has the speed, because you don't equate the Cadets with the faster football teams in the country. And there. Hello. How appropriate.
He did have it figured out. Again, you think of him making so many big plays as he did here on after the bootleg by McWilliams. But again, he's a disciplined player, even though he makes big plays. Sometimes those things don't go well together. But you can see the kind of career he has had at Alabama.
45 of those 52 sacks have come in the last 2 years. 27 this year. And, of course, he just got one there. Rambush punts it deep to Murray Hill. At the 14. Got some room. Got a lot of room. And Rambush can't make the tackle. This will be a touchdown, but there are flags down at the other end of the field. So hold everything.
Murray Hill has been a great punt returner for the Tide all year long, although it looks like they're going to bring this one back. But what he doesn't wait around. He doesn't dance and go from sideline to sideline, Vern. He sees a little hole, a little gap, and he is off north and south.
Bring it back.
Clipping on the offense.
The top right of the screen, and you will see the clip. Right there is one of the Army defenders went down, and there was the flag.
That is an 89-yard return wiped out and made into a 15-yard return because of the penalty. He who giveth sometimes taketh away. Derek Thomas, who had the sack, just was guilty of the clip that wiped out that 89-yard punt return by Murray Hill. On the right of the screen, there is Derek Thomas and the clip from behind. And in his frustration, he stayed on the ground for quite some time, knew immediately that he was the man who was guilty of the clip. So the All-American, who's been a standout on special teams, obviously, that time cost his club a touchdown. 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line now. Still a 14-13 ball game. Backs in the eye. David Castillo, the senior out of Eglin Air Force Base in Florida. And an update, the Oilers have scored again on Cleveland 14-3, but I'm sure memories of a week ago and a 23-7 lead that disappeared are thundering around in their helmets, but they lead it 14-3 right now. Wayne Shaw comes into fullback. Again, the injury report has Robert Stewart on the bench for the remainder of the game with a knee injury. And Castillo is the deep back in the island. Opening moments, third quarter. Good ball game, 14-13. That pass to Marco Battle is good for a first down at the 29-yard line. And they take advantage of the soft corner on the left side.
Nice pass protection there by the offensive line, and in particular left guard Larry Rose, who's really starting as his last game in Alabama as a 4-year starter. I talked to him yesterday, and he said, hey, I'm really sad about this. Playing for Alabama has meant an awful lot to me, and going into my last game, I really have mixed emotions.
A young man who is married, father of 2 children, will no doubt be employed in football somewhere next year. Here's Smith back. Wide open, Lamont Russell. And that should be enough to move the chain again.
Again, once again, the nice adjustment by Russell. Some guys just have that ability when they get in the middle of a defense to be able to move maybe a step or 2 away from the coverage and get open right as the ball is thrown, and that's what Russell does.
Russell leaves now, so does Wayne Shaw. First down, 10, Alabama. Nice conservative passing game featuring David Smith. First and 10. Crimson Tide do trail by 1. Screen pass, right side. Turner. Caught and dropped at the 48. Ernest Boyd made the tackle.
David Smith, Vern, has been throwing the ball rather in the short zones, and that's what they like to do. Homer Smith, the offensive coordinator, believes that's what he has the best opportunity to do against this cadet defense. You see, most of the completions have come underneath the defense, underneath that zone defense.
He's gone to the right side, as you can see, 9 times. He completed 7, 223 yards now throwing the ball. 9:52 to go, third quarter, 14-13. Army leads Alabama. Murray Hill knocked backwards. It'll be 3rd and 1, and a long one at that.
You know, coming into the game, the Army defensive coaches felt they had a compelling statistic against Alabama. They ran nearly 70% of their plays to the tight end, and they thought they were going to slant that way, and that's what Alabama has done. And when Army slants that way, there's nowhere for the running back to go.
Battle comes into your screen right side. There's Howard Cross, the huge tight end, who is back in the lineup. Bruised ribs, but still competing. Alabama excellent on 3rd down conversion so far, and they'll throw. Blitz coming. Pass right side, tipped away. Terrific defensive play. Ernest Boyd, the senior from Brandon, Florida. What a nice play.
Ernest saves Christmas on that one. A nice play by Boyd, but that time Marco Battle did not come back for the ball. Remember, earlier in the game, he stepped back. This time he waits. If he takes 1 step back, Boyd doesn't have a chance to make the play.
Chris Moore on to punt after the fine defensive effort by Ernest Boyd. And Paul Wynn, number 10, will wait for it inside the 10-yard line. Another nice punt by Moore. Wynn moves up, makes the fair catch at the 21-yard line. 8 minutes, 56 seconds. No scoring in the third quarter. Thus it remains after the 30-yard punt, 14-13 Army.
They're doing with these 2 black helmet decals on the back of their helmets. They're remembering 2 of their teammates, George Scruggs, the tailback, and Willie Riles, a defensive tackle, who would have been playing their last game as seniors today had they not been killed 2 years ago. Scruggs in a car accident, Riles with a brain seizure, but in this holiday season, their teammates haven't forgotten. Now back to Vernon Pat.
All right, Doc, 8:56 to go, third quarter. And the Cadets of West Point have a first down at their own 22-yard line. They have a 14-13 lead. And they have done it all on the ground as they have done it all year. They test the middle with Barnett, the fullback, and he runs into George Thornton, number 94, who is coming in place of Tommy Cole now defensively.
They're hoping by putting Thornton in, who's a big guy at 285 pounds, that he can take up a little more space inside, because that's where Army's had success running the ball inside, so they have a bigger body in there now.
Gain of 4 on the last play, 2nd down and 6. And again, the fullback, and now a 3rd and 5. Forthcoming is Willie Wyatt. The nose tackle makes the stop.
And a big play or a big time here for this Alabama defense. They have them in 3rd and 5, which they haven't had them much this game. And what Army has done in these kinds of situations, they've even given the ball to the fullback, or they pitched the ball outside, and that's what Alabama has to stop here.
3rd and 5. McWilliams, no. And the Cadets of West Point will have to give it up. Willie Wyatt makes the tackle, number 98. Derek Thomas told John Dockery, we've got it solved now. Watch Derek Thomas, who lines up all over the place and in isolation.
And when he gets knocked down, well, he doesn't stay on the ground very long. He's always back up.
And as a result of Derek Thomas's play, it'll be 4th down. And Brent Rambush, he is on to punt for the 3rd time. That's fairly short, but will bounce and take an Army roll inside the 30. Now back to the 31. 41-yard punt. 40 years ago, of course, the Sun Bowl was played. It was Miami of Ohio playing Texas Tech here in El Paso. The head coach of Miami of Ohio was Sid Gilman. Bob Spielman kicked the extra point that gave Miami a 1-point victory. But who scored the first touchdown?
Our own Ara Parsegian.
He suffered a separated shoulder in the 2nd half, so played only in the 1st half. But Ara played here in the Sun Bowl 40 years ago. 7:13 to go, 3rd quarter. Smith back. Left side into the flat for David Castile. Out of 1 tackle, and he's got an Alabama 1st down out of the 41-yard line before Darrell Sherb makes the tackle.
David Castile is so good at it. After he catches the ball, he makes a quick cut and picks up additional 5 or 6 yards, which most running backs don't. Very good after he catches the ball.
Injured player now, John Frew Morgan, who is all the way back at the 21-yard line on the far side of the field. He's the big left tackle for the Crimson Tide of Alabama.
He has played very well, not only today, but all season long.
Frew Morgan, who's listed at 303 pounds, and Homer Smith said, not true. We weigh them in, and he's at 282 right now. And Frew Morgan favoring that right leg. Bill Curry had a tough decision to make earlier this week when the backup quarterback Jeff Dunn was sent home. It seems that last Saturday night before the team departed Tuscaloosa, Dunn was caught by the Tuscaloosa police outside a local establishment, was arrested. They have a very strict liquor law in Alabama about open containers outside of buildings. And Dunn did make the trip, but Bill said he knew the rules, and the minute that Bill Curry heard about the arrest, he sent his backup quarterback home. So Vince Sutton is here as the backup. Back to play, 1st and 10, 14 to 13, 6:50 to go, 3rd quarter. That pass caught as Smith is again on target. Marco Battle, who's had a big ball game today.
Really interesting to me, though, in that at the top of the show, we said the big advantage to Alabama was in the offensive line. Yet on 1st down here in the 2nd half, all we're seeing them is throwing the ball out of the shotgun formation. Show the kind of respect they have for the Army Cadet defense and what they did.
Saw that's Battle's 6 catches. Previous high in a single game was 5 against Temple back in September. And they've also gone with the shotgun formation. They will not on this 1st down or 2nd down, but they have gone several times. 2nd and 1 here. 14-13. Army leads it. Murray Hill comes right, and he is dropped. Oh, what a terrific play by Will Huff.
That was a sensational play by Huff, who just fought through 2 guys on that slant defense and put the stop on Hill. Take a look here at Will Huff right here, who's just going to fight through some guys, fight through the traffic, and put an arm out. A lot of times you get blocked, but if you can just get an elbow or an arm or a hand out there, you can make a play. 3 guys he went through and got the hand right on Hill's ankle.
3rd and 5. Smith looks right. Greg Payne, nice cut in front of Ernest Boyd, as that pass was all timing. And that's another Alabama first down.
Nice touch on the ball by David Smith, and it just seems to me something about left-hander throwers. You'll get Boomer Esiason and remember old Kenny Stabler. When they throw that ball with that left hand, it just seems to have a little bit more touch on it and an easier ball to catch.
Have receivers told you that it is easier?
Oh, I think so. A lot of receivers like catching the left-handed thrower's ball because of that very fact.
First down, 10 Alabama, 5:27 to go, 3rd quarter, 14-13 Army. Blitz coming, Smith reads it, hot receiver, right side, and he's loose down the sidelines. Todd Richardson with another Crimson Tide first down at the 25.
Corner blitz made the easy throw for David Smith. Right here, Thornson's coming in, but a nice read both by Smith and by Richardson. Richardson sees the corner blitz, he runs the adjustment, and then puts a nice move on the safety to pick up the first down.
Pat Davey made the tackle on Todd Richardson, the senior out of Syracuse, New York. First down, Alabama. They have trailed throughout. At one time, 14-3. 1st and 10. Make the draw, screen pass, left side. And a good defensive job on Lamont Russell, who then does manage to fight for yardage inside the 25.
What Alabama is trying to do here is pick on the Army defense on the perimeter. So throw the ball on the out route to one side, they run the screen to the other. They're trying to stretch that defense to give them a little soft spot to run the ball inside from tackle to tackle.
Saw Jim Young prowling the sideline. Jim Young, as a head coach, has never lost a bowl game. He's 5-0, 2-0 at Army. They won the Cherry Bowl, and then they beat Illinois in the Peach Bowl the year after that in '85. They lead right now 14-13. Fullback. And he breaks out of one tackle and gets inside the 20 near the 18. Wayne Shaw. David Smith has now set a new Sun Bowl record for passing in this game, 273 yards. Boy, they've all but abandoned the run, haven't they?
They really have. And, you know, it was interesting talking to David yesterday how confident he was. He said he came here as a walk-on, not to sit on the bench, though. He fully expected to play. I was really surprised at all the confidence that David has in himself.
3rd and 1 with 4:30 to go, 3rd quarter. That will cost him 5 and draw the wrath of Bill Curry.
This has been some of their problems inside the 20-yard line this entire year.
Darrell Chapman arguing. There's Bill Curry.
What a remarkable job Curry has done this year under some really adverse circumstances.
They're calling our dead gun snap count. They're calling our snap count. They've been doing it all day.
I know, we asked the umpire and he said he didn't hear
You
word.
take a look at that and tell me that he didn't do that.
It's an argument he won't win. I'm surprised, though, because he did take a course in preaching once at every university. He'd argue his case a little stronger.
Homiletics. You and he both had a course in homiletics, didn't you?
He's the only coach I know who's had a course in homiletics. Hot receiver, Greg Payne, touchdown. 23 yards. And Alabama's on top for the first time this afternoon.
Very patient drive by the Tide, and that's what you have to do against this Army defense, and great coordination between Smith and Payne there reading the blitz. Roll Tide.
Doyle for the extra point with 4:23 to go in the 3rd quarter. And behind the passing of senior quarterback David Smith.
Again, David Smith, this is all in his head. Again, he read the blitz early. Troy Lingley, the inside linebacker, was going no free safety again. Nice adjustment by Payne running the post, and then he carries the defender into the end zone.
Alabama leads for the first time by 6, 20-14.
John Dockery back at the Sun Bowl, and as a former defensive back, I can't believe, Pat Hayden, how Ernest Boyd is playing. You see, he's 9 yards deep. The blitz is on. He's playing outside position. This is a give-me touchdown for David Smith and Payne. Take a look at it right here. See him bounce outside. There's no one to help inside. The ball is softly thrown. That's the second time Boyd has been beaten that way. Just a mistake by a defensive back. He's a senior. He should know better on the blitz. You have to take away the inside. He didn't do it for the second time in a row. Back to you, Pat.
You sound like a guy who played for the Jets in the Super Bowl, John. Huh?
Yes.
You sound like a guy who wears a world champion's ring. Nicely done. But he doesn't have a Rhodes Scholarship, right, Pat?
Couldn't play, but I could think.
Mike Mayweather out to the 31-yard line.
To follow up Doc's report, the Army bench was talking about it. Every corner, and Doc is right. You can see the defensive coaches there. Anytime you get a blitz, the free safety on the blitz, the corner has to play the inside technique and force the offense to throw the ball outside.
So Army trailing for the first time. It's a 14-6 Houston lead in the second quarter. 20-14 Alabama here. And McWilliams is stopped. Boy, I go back to the conversation that John had with Derek Thomas just before the half when he said, we've got the wishbone puzzle solved. They have stopped them the last two drives.
And college football is a game of adjustments, and the adjustments they've made here in the second half on defense has been they've gotten off the ball a lot faster and slanting more. They're getting a lot more penetration. That has been the difference.
Second down and 9. 20-14, 3:48 to go, third quarter. And here's Barnett loose again. How in the world? He will be caught because he's kind of like a tugboat once he gets into the open.
He just ran through the tackle of George Bethune. It was unbelievable. Bethune thought he had him dead in his tracks, number 59. There was a big collision, but Barnett was not to be denied.
That's his second run over 50. That's for 58.
But incredible individual effort. This should have been a 1-yard gain at most. You see, Bethune just comes off the tackle, and Barnett just turns on whatever speed he has. But that is a remarkable play by Barnett, a play that should have been made and stopped by George Bethune.
158 yards now for Barnett. He's one away from his season high. And Mayweather dances to the outside on first and goal and picks up a couple. 2 runs in excess of 50 for Barnett. And bless him, if he had any speed, he'd have scored twice.
You know, Jim Young says that his team is not blessed with great speed, but he plays to his team's strength. That's discipline and intensity, and you can see the intensity in the way Ben Barnett runs.
Second down and goal. Army trails by 6, 2:53 to go. Third quarter, 20-14 Alabama. And that's on the right side.
Brian McWilliams, the quarterback, faking to the backup fullback Barth, and then he kept it around the right side. But it's been a nice sequencing of plays here. They run the fullback, and then they try to get the ball to the perimeter, so either the quarterback can take it or pitch the ball.
McWilliams looks back over at the bench where the play is being sent in. Third and goal from the 6.
Army is very good inside the 20-yard line because they don't have to change their offense when they get inside the 20-yard line. They run the wishbone all over the field.
Third and goal from the 6. They try Barnett. He does not make it. Stuffed by Steve Webb, number 84.
You have to wonder, with the 2 field goals being blocked by Derek Thomas, whether Jim Young will even try a field goal here. I think he's debating that very point.
They have gone for 4th down. They were 5 for 5 in the Navy game.
It was actually 7 for 7. It's a remarkable day for him, and here they're going to go for it on 4th down, partly because of that, but also because Derek Thomas has blocked those 2 field goals.
So it's a bowl game. It's Christmas Eve. The 48,000 are on their feet. It's 4th and goal for the 4. Mayweather. Touchdown. Boy, he just got in. And Alabama will argue with vehemence.
I'll tell you, if he did get in, it was incredible individual effort. I thought from here, when I saw it, there was a lot of white jerseys keeping him out of the end zone. Great individual effort by Mike Mayweather.
And Keith Walker with a chance to put Army back on top. Officially call it a touchdown from 3 yards out. And the Cadets have reclaimed the lead.
A remarkable call by Jim Young on 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. Unusual, but they've done it all year long. But watch the block on the right side by number 19, Calvin Cass, the right halfback, that sets it up. He clears the way in the defensive back. And the line judge is right there to make the call. The line judge is there, and he will leave the ball across the plane of the goal line. One more look as McWilliams, another nicely timed pitch, nice soft pitch out in front of Mayweather, and the block by Cass. The official was right there.
Now the ball has to cross the plane, and the line judge, George Hayward, you'll see him, oh, you can't really see, yes, you can see him at the top. Look at him eyeball, search for it, and then signal. He is right, he's 2 feet away.
I think what the Alabama people were arguing about, though, was whether he was out of bounds when actually the ball crossed the plane.
Now there is a dead ball personal foul against Alabama.
So they'll kick from the 50, and you have to wonder about a potential onside kick.
Bill Curry getting it explained. Well, no surprise, really, that Army goes for it on 4th and goal from the 3, given the 2 set of circumstances.
I think the real argument is whether Mayweather was out of bounds when the ball crossed the plane. See, that's the issue. His right knee and body were out of bounds, and I think, but the line judge right there is right on it. He's got a much clearer view than we do.
Army reclaims the lead with 1:22 to go, 3rd quarter, 21-20 over Alabama. And after the personal foul penalty, the Cadets will kick off from midfield. That'll come out to the 20. Let's go down to John Dockery.
Thank you, Vern. We're going to talk sports and sponsorship. 3 years ago, John Hancock and Bill Boyan were one of the first companies to step forward to sponsor a bowl. And Bill, has it gone well for you?
Oh, it's been fantastic. You know, a lot of our employees are enthusiastic about it. Customers, oh, this is Americana. This is Americana. The customers love this kind of thing. Not only this bowl game and Army and Alabama and their tradition, but we do a lot of marathons as well, and they just love this kind of stuff, as I do.
What's the best part about this whole sponsorship?
Well, I'll tell you, the partnership that we have with El Paso and the Sun Bowl Association, guys from CBS like you, it's just been a terrific experience, not only for us, but for all these ball players and all their coaches. It's a memorable thing.
Thank you, Bill. Back to you, Vern.
Thank you, John. And if there's any doubt from listening to Bill Boyan, John Hancock is headquartered in Boston. That's a first down. Greg Payne makes the catch out at the 32-yard line. Battle and Payne have really been busy.
And they've done most of their damage on the outside of the defense, running the outcuts because they're getting plenty of cushion by the Army defensive backs.
Payne's previous high had been 6 catches. That was in a win against Kentucky. Now Russell's in motion and Smith is back. Deep left side and overthrows Marco Battle. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And Vernon, there's a special holiday greetings I want to give to someone out there. Our stage manager Lou Codian's brother-in-law, Mike Greer, is recuperating from a very serious construction accident in City Hospital in Akron. We want to wish him the best and a happy holiday season.
1:12 to go from the John Hancock Sun Bowl. Terrific ball game thus far. 9-2 Army against 8-3 Alabama. It's 21-20. Army leads. This time they'll hand it off to Murray Hill, who gets just a couple. And it'll be third down. David Smith, 308 yards today.
A remarkable day for David Smith, but really not surprising because he has a very good mind. He works very hard and recognizes where to throw the ball very quickly. You don't need to have a big arm if you know where to throw it quick.
Out of the shotgun on third down and 9. Final minute, final 40 seconds actually, the third quarter. Stunts by the Army defensive line, and Smith in trouble. He's not terribly agile, but he gets the pass away to Howard Cross for a first down.
Howard Cross playing with bruised ribs. And I'll tell you, you can see now it looks like it might be an ankle. Probably the best blocking tight end in all of America. 2 years ago, he had a nickname of Iron Hands, and every time he caught the ball in practice, the team stopped and applauded him. But he's worked very, very hard on catching the ball and has had a real nice year at tight end for Alabama.
First down and 10, 22 seconds, 20 seconds to go now, third quarter. Blitz coming again. Corner blitz, Smith goes left, intercepted. Picked off by O'Neal Miller, and the chase is on. And he's got speed. No flags, touchdown Army. Yards as Miller gets his 5th pick of the season, and Keith Walker is on to try and make it an 8-point lead again. Nailed it.
Vern, one of the few poor decisions by David Smith that we have seen today. O'Neal Miller, as the free safety, has done a nice job right there. Watch how he reads the eyes of David Smith and just locks in on him early. You see his head is right there. He sees the crossing route by the tight end Russell and steps up right in front of the play. That's great anticipation by Miller. We've seen it doing both in the running game, stuffing the run, and also in the pass defense.
I'm struck by a conversation that we had with Homer Smith yesterday when he circled O'Neal Miller's name on his depth chart and said, here's the young man we fear the most.
He said, we have to account for him. We need to know where he is every play.
And having fallen behind 20-14, Jim Young's bunch comes back with 2 quick touchdowns, and David Smith, who has just made his first mistake of the afternoon, gets on the headset to talk with Homer Smith, the offensive coordinator. Bill Curry placidly looks on. 28-20, 7 seconds to go, third quarter. This is an Army team that plays what Jim Young calls a rainbow schedule. They try and schedule a number of Ivy League teams in the area around West Point. They try and schedule a number of major games like Washington, Rutgers, Boston College. But it's a mixed schedule because they know they don't have the caliber of athlete to compete with the top 20 teams week in and week out.
It's the right kind of schedule for Army. Meanwhile, Bill Curry in the Southeastern Conference faces one of the most brutal schedules, I think, in all of college football.
Now we have a dead ball foul called against the Cadets for undisciplined celebrations in the end zone. They lost their cool after the touchdown, so they've been penalized back to the 20.
I'll still never understand that penalty. You're in college, you score touchdowns, aren't you supposed to have some fun?
I thought that was the point of it all.
Nonetheless, that'll give Alabama some very good field position.
Pierre Good will wait for it at the 15-yard line. Taken by Good at the 12. And he's down at the 22. Darryl Sherb makes the tackle after a 15-yard return. Coming up Monday, John Madden, Pat Summerall will be at the Metrodome in Minnesota as the Los Angeles Rams take on the Minnesota Vikings in the wild card game at 2 o'clock Eastern time.
When I saw the Rams last week against the 49ers, 9 sacks of 49er quarterbacks. Kevin Green and Gary Jeter did a great job of rushing the passer.
That's coming up Monday. Right now, 3 seconds to go, third quarter. And Smith out of the shotgun. Threw an interception last time out. Into the right side, caught by Wayne Shaw. Darryl Sherb misses the tackle. And then Ernest Boyd comes up to make the stop, but that might be enough for a first down. That is the end of the third quarter with our score. Army 28, Alabama 20. The Sun Bowl on CBS returns after this message and a word from your local station.
Sometimes you got it today. Emerson's got it right. Fine-tuned.
Jim Nance, as Army, a 2-touchdown underdog, has stormed from behind. They had a lead at the half, fell behind 20-14, and then 2 third-quarter touchdowns to regain a 28-20 edge. As we begin the fourth quarter, David Smith out of the shotgun on first down and 10 from the 37-yard line. Blitz coming by the Cadets. Smith goes left, incomplete for Battle.
Got a nice play there by O'Neal Miller, the free safety who got in the passing lane, but I'm a little bit surprised that they continue to blitz David Smith because he is in the shotgun formation. He's obviously 5 or 6 steps further away from the onrushing blitz, and because they have the advantage with those receivers and their speed.
Second down and 10. David Castile with the back in the eye. Fake the draw, Smith to throw. Left side caught by Wayne Shaw, number 43, and he spilled at the 44. Troy Lingley makes the tackle, number 45. If you just joined us, we'll bring you up to speed. Derek Thomas has blocked 2 field goals. That's 7 blocks in his career. But Army just scored 14 unanswered points. The first on a 4th and 3, and then an interception return by O'Neal Miller for a touchdown. And it's 28-20, the Cadets, 3rd down and 4, Alabama. 48,719 looking on. That's a rather obvious audible. Low snap, bobbled. It'll be 4th down. And the Army bench comes alive.
That's the other thing, getting a team ready for a ball game that likes to throw the ball and use the shotgun, and because there's so much more timing involved in that kind of offense than running the wishbone. Sometimes when you have those couple of weeks off, it's tough to get yourself ready to play.
Chris Moore comes on to punt for the 4th time. 13:40 remaining in the ball game. Little pressure applied. Nice punt. What a nice punt. And it just does ooze into the end zone. A 61-yard punt, but it will come out to the 20-yard line. Well, we've got our usual college crew on hand here today, but a rather special man who's calling it a career at CBS at the end of this day. We want to wish our mobile unit supervisor, Bob Hanford, a happy retirement. 37 years at CBS. This is Bob's last show. We wish him luck. And we hope that you and I last. If we last 37, you've got a scoop out to the 23. We won't get 37 between us.
You're right. Maybe deservedly so.
The judgments for others to make. 13-14 remaining in the ball game, 28-20.
This has been a very, very patient offense by the Army. You don't see a lot of spectacular plays. You've seen a couple of runs by the fullback, but very efficient on first down, gaining 4 yards virtually every time.
Comes the option. Mike Mayweather out to the 30. Let's go down to John Dockery.
Thank you, Vern. Lieutenant General Dave Palmer, Superintendent of the Academy. You were a 14-point underdog coming in. Are you surprised?
Not at all. We're the Army. When the Army deploys, wherever we go in the world, we go to win.
And you're certainly doing that today. What about the ticket requests? I know this was a hot ticket.
Well, we had to answer requests for several thousand. You see, El Paso with Fort Bliss here is an Army town, and so that makes this for us almost a home game.
Almost a home game. And tomorrow night on 60 Minutes, there's a piece on the Academy. Okay, Vern and Pat.
Okay, John. First down and 10.
Wow.
And the blitz is coming. Aaron ball. Oh, it's a forward pass. And then a flag comes out from way at the other side of the field. Keith McCants.
Unbelievable blitz there inside by Keith McCants.
No flag. Wave off the flag. Here's J.C. Louderback.
We have an incomplete pass. We will pick up the flag.
They rule this an incomplete forward pass, and we're going to get a chance to look at that. And the question is whether it was, in fact, a forward pass. But early on, the rhythm was disrupted by McCants, number 86. And then Brian Williams, it was a forward pass. It was a good call by the official. Even though it was underhand, it was like a little shovel pass. So good call.
Second down and 10. 28-20, Army leads it. They test the fullback again up the middle, out near the 35, and that'll be a third down.
We saw a great blitz on the play earlier by Keith McCants, and we've talked a little bit about him today. I think guys like Keith McCants are changing the way college football is played. He is 6'4", 250 pounds, and runs a 4.5, kind of 40. And because of that, offenses are going to have to change their scheme against players like him. There wasn't players with that kind of dimensions 4 or 5 years ago in college football.
Third down, 6, under 12 minutes remaining. Army leading by 8. Blitz threatened by Alabama. And they try the fullback. A flag comes from the umpire. Might have a holding call here.
Holding on the offense.
Against Army. That's where that call usually is made by the umpire. Jim Young looks on.
I'd be surprised whether they would accept it or not. Make it 4th and about 7, right?
Yeah.
Decline. 4th down.
So that'll bring up 4th down with 11:49 remaining in the ball game. And the Cadets will bring on the punting unit. Bill Curry looks on. You know, watching John with General Palmer, I was fortunate enough to sit at the dinner Thursday night with General Fred Gordon, who's the Commandant of the Marine Corps, and just a wonderful man. We had a chance to chat. I asked about his background. I said, "Where are you from?" And he said, "I was born in Anniston, Alabama, but don't publicize it." So I promised him we wouldn't. Here's the punt by Rambush. At the 30, Murray Hill, who had an 89-yard punt return wiped out by a clipping penalty back in the 3rd quarter. That's a 7-yard return of a 34-yard punt. Alabama has the ball.
Alabama. On behalf of the Alabama football team, I'd like to wish you a very Merry Christmas. And our special hope would be that the Spirit of Christ would go with you through each and every day throughout the year.
Bill Curry should not be a surprise on this Christmas Eve that the Alabama team was favored. They have 2 theologians on the staff. Bill spent a year at Emory University Theological School, and Homer Smith has a master's in theology from Harvard University. But they trail right now by 8. Smith to Wembley. Oh, dandy catch.
And nicely timed by David Smith. And he throws that corner route, which Wembley ran about as well as anybody we have seen this year, and it's beautifully timed, leads the ball away from the defender and allow Wembley to run under it.
That's a gain of 20. We'll see how it developed.
Bottom of the screen. The key here is when you go down, is to fake inside before you break outside. You know, I watch Prince Wembley as he does that. Gets the little move inside, and then the ball well thrown away from the defender.
First down, Smith back. Flushed out, under pressure, and throws it up incomplete. Will Huff was right in his face. Pat, I'm wondering, do you get the sense that this rather impressive passing attack is the outgrowth of adjustments in the game, or did they come in thinking they would throw this much?
No, they believed they could run the football in the first half, but when they didn't have much success because Army did a nice job of stopping the run, particularly on first down, they made the adjustment and said, hey, we're going to win this game or lose it throwing the football.
Second down and 10, 28-20 with 11:10 to go. Army leads it by 8. Draw play. Wayne Shaw, high load as he gets to the 41. It'll be 3rd and long. Darryl Sherb makes the tackle, number 22. We're at the Sun Bowl in El Paso. 48,719 on hand on a gorgeous Christmas Eve afternoon. 10:52 remaining in the ball game. Army jumped out to a 14-3 lead, led at the half by 1, fell behind 20-14, and then stormed back with 2 late third quarter touchdowns. 3rd and 8, Alabama. Make the draw, and Smith back with time. Across the middle, caught. That's a first down, Alabama at the 30-yard line.
Vern, you know what Marco Battle does so well is catch the ball with his hands. A lot of guys, particularly when they run over the middle, will try to catch it with their body and jump up and protect themselves from the hit. But Marco Battle does such a nice job of getting his hands out in front of the ball and making the play.
Senior from Phoenix City, Alabama, who's having his biggest day of the season. Battle with 7 catches for 86 yards now, and a touchdown. Wearing the gloves, this 50-degree weather in El Paso. 1st and 10, Alabama. Smith, left side again, incomplete, intended for Greg Payne. Mike Thorson, number 40, was defending on the play, and Smith
took another shot. And as much pressure and blitzing as Alabama is doing, if they're going to continue to throw the ball, they might as well throw it out of the shotgun.
Wonder if the Snake is watching today. Kenny Stabler. Some of his records may be in jeopardy before it's all over. And Namath. They've had some decent throwers at Alabama.
Remarkable. Never a Heisman Trophy winner, though.
Scott Hunter, one of the great quarterbacks. He is here today, as a matter of fact, one of the Crimson Tide quarterbacks. 2nd down. Prince Wimbley again. And that might be enough for a first down.
And the key to completing passes clearly is the pass protection. That time, David Smith had plenty of time to look over the defense, look from left to right, and Prince Wimbley just ran the little hook route. The ball was well thrown right in the numbers again for an easy catch. If you're thinking ahead with 10 minutes left, Alabama trailing by 8 may very well go for 2. They're only 1 of 4 on 2-point conversions this year, so they haven't been real successful doing it.
Right now, they've got a first down and 10 from the 18, trailing 28-20, 9:45 to go. Blitz again from the outside, and the pass by Wimbley bobbled. Would have been a terrific catch, and he couldn't quite hang on. Prince Wimbley, one of 4 freshmen, as we said, for Bill Curry, who have played a lot this year. 165-pounder.
They think he has a very, very bright and strong future here at Alabama over his next 3 years.
David Smith, 379 yards thus far.
Very important down for David Smith right here at 2nd and 10 with his team trailing by 8, though.
And again, Army looks like they might be coming. They are. Max blitz. They send 8, and Smith finds Marco Battle at the 8.
Remember earlier when Ernest Boyd was beaten for 2 touchdowns because he wasn't taking away the inside? Well, now he's playing so much to the inside. That is why Alabama is throwing the outs. There's plenty of cushion out there for him to throw the ball outside. Here's Ernest Boyd. He's going to step inside, which leaves plenty of room for the wide receivers from Alabama to run the out route. See, he takes away the inside, big cushion, and that's an easy completion to Marco Battle.
See if that's enough for the first down. Stretch of the chain. And it is 1st and goal, Alabama at the 8-yard line.
I'm sorry, Vern, but this is the toughest part of the field to score for a passing team. Because, again, the zones that you have to defend are so much compressed because you're down there inside the 10.
9:23 remaining in the ball game. 28-20 Army. 1st and goal from the 8. No blitz this time. across the middle, caught at the 5. Marco Battle makes the ground at the 4-yard line. And that is the 9th catch for Battle. He and Greg Payne, 9 apiece.
Bill Curry has to be thinking about touchdown, although there's 9 minutes, about a little under 9 minutes remaining. Because Army's offense has controlled the ball so well, he has to think about getting this one in. So he's going to take, I believe, 3 downs here to try to get the ball in.
2nd down and goal from the 4. 10th play of the drive. They toss it to Castile. And he spins to the 2-yard line.
David Castile did a nice job of fighting through some traffic there. It didn't look like there was anybody, any hole or soft spot for him to find, but he kept stretching it out, cut it back, and then danced around a couple of people. Nice play by Castile.
3rd and goal from the 2.
Castile is known primarily as their short yardage runner.
Lamont Russell enters the Alabama lineup. 3rd and goal from the 2. Castile and Shaw in the eye. Play fake. Smith. Caught it the 15. Greg Gatson, the senior from Chesapeake, Virginia.
That's a play that David Smith should have gotten rid of the ball. Can't take a sack in that situation. But a great play by Greg Gatson, the outside linebacker. Watch how he fights through some couple of guys. He's at the bottom of the screen there. Fights through 2 guys. And David Smith probably should have thrown this ball out of the end zone, but Gatson was on him too quickly. He really didn't have a chance to do so.
Player down for the Cadets at the 17-yard line.
Alabama used the play-action pass there, Vern, hoping to draw that defensive secondary up quickly, and was going to try to dump the ball quickly to Russell, but he didn't fool the defense.
Time has been called with 7:30 remaining, while the Cadets tend to the injured man.
Greg Gatson, the senior, playing his last football game ever, makes a great play here on David Smith on the sack. And then there's a little celebration going on, and that's where he gets hurt. Dan Cooney, the most emotional guy in this team, whap, comes on him like a rock slide, and he limped off, but he is okay now.
I would imagine they'll be talking about that on the plane ride home tonight. There's Greg Gatson. He's just fine. It was Dan Cooney who made the tackle.
Gatson is going to be married in May, and the other outside linebacker, Chuck Schretzman, is going to be the best man in his wedding.
Philip Doyle for the field goal now. 32 yards out. As Alabama has to settle for the Doyle attempt, it is good. So the lead is down to 5 with 7:25 remaining in the ball game. While we've got a moment, let's take a look at the University of Alabama.
I can't define leaders and winners, but I know they have those intangibles that win.
A winning tradition, an inevitable result of careful planning, attention to detail, and a commitment to be the best. At the University of Alabama, we're proud to honor a tradition of winning that is legendary, with a new tradition of learning that's visionary. The Paul W. Bryant Conference Center at the University of Alabama.
48,000 plus on hand at the Sun Bowl in El Paso, 7:25 remaining. And the Alabama Crimson Tide had to settle for the field goal by Philip Doyle after the outstanding defensive effort of Greg Gatson, 28-23, as the Cadets try and become the first team in Army history to win their 10th game. Never happened before. There's the kick by Doyle. And into the end zone where Mike Mayweather will take it. And well, good ball game for you today, and a special program coming up tomorrow. Winterfest begins tomorrow at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. Tim Ryan and Billy Kidd were over in France, and we'll have highlights of World Cup skiing from Val d'Isère, France. We'll also have the World Junior Figure Skating Championships, interviews with Dan Jansen and Eddie the Eagle Edwards. That'll be followed by the NBA tomorrow. The Lakers and the Utah Jazz at 3:30 Eastern Time tomorrow on CBS. First down and 10, Army, 7:25 to go. McWilliams hit and dropped.
It's up to the Alabama defense right now to decide whether they're going to win this game or not. 7 minutes and about 15 seconds remaining. They have been able to solve most of the problems today, except the fullback, Ben Barnett. You see Kemp coming in today, he averaged 4.2, but today, almost 13 yards a carry.
2 runs in excess of 50 yards, 1 of 25. Blitz. McWilliams pitches. Mayweather does not get the block he needed and is down at the 21. Calvin Cass tried to lay the block. John Mangan fought off and made the tackle.
What a nice play by John Mangan. He is a guy that Don Lindsay said this week is easy overlooked because he's always in position. He always does what you tell him. Let's look at Mike Mayweather down. John Mangum, he was taken aside this week by Don Lindsay, and Lindsay said to him, hey, I apologize for overlooking you this year because you've had a great year at corner.
53-year-old Jim Young, undefeated as a bowl coach in stints previously at Arizona and Purdue, and now trying to stay unblemished as the head coach at Army. Army holds on to a 5-point lead, 6:42 remaining in the ball game. They're 0 of 5 on their last 3rd downs, and this is a big one now. 3rd down and 9 as the clock resumes.
Most important 3rd down for the Alabama defense all day.
McWilliams has it batted down. It'll be 4th down, and again it's Derek Thomas.
It's remarkable how some guys just seem to make plays, and Derek Thomas does that time and time again. 2 blocked field goals, and then on the most important 3rd down of the defensive day, gets his big paws up. Remember, he's 6'4", beautifully timed too. The left hand knocks it down.
And that brings on the Army punting unit. Britt Rambush and Murray Hill, who had an 89-yard punt return wiped out by a penalty, waits for it near the 34-yard line. Way up in the air. Hill struggles and gets to the 47, where the Alabama Crimson Tide get possession of the ball with 6:17 remaining. A 42-yard punt, 10 on the return, and we check in with Doc. John?
You know, right behind me, Vern, is Mike Mayweather. They were checking his left knee. A mild sprain is the word. He ran up and down the sidelines behind the bench, appeared to be okay. They're still talking with him. Back to you guys.
All right, Doc, first down, 10, Alabama. 28-23, they trail. Ball at the 46-yard line, and Smith will operate from the shotgun. He's thrown for 393 yards today. Left side, incomplete. Almost picked off, flags are down. It is not an interception. There are 2 flags on the play.
The debate is whether Marco Battle, the wide receiver, was held over there.
Here's J.C. Louderback.
Pass interference on the defense.
I think as Marco Battle was rounding the corner trying to come inside, somebody grabbed him and prevented him from coming back and making the catch.
Houston leads Cleveland 14-9. 3rd quarter of the AFC wildcard game. And a reminder, the NFC wildcard game coming up Monday on CBS. The Rams at Minnesota. First down, 10, Alabama. And here come the Crimson Tide. They came in as 14-point favorites. They trail 28-23, 6:10 to go. The difference in the game right now, a pass interception by O'Neal Miller. That's deep and caught at the 25-yard line. Todd Richardson, number 23, a 19-yard gain.
What an athletic play by Richardson, because he was very well covered. Good protection for David Smith. Again, the corner route, which he throws so well, but it was a little bit high. But the very athletic play, he's only 5'10", but can really get up, can really jump. One of the best athletes on this team.
First down, 10, Alabama at the 25, 5:55 to go in the ball game. Draw play. Murray Hill to the 21.
Curry Hill has is great acceleration in the hole, Vern. A lot of running backs will take some time getting to a hole and then getting through it. But once he sees it, that's when he accelerates it. He explodes through the tiniest crack.
Now substitutions made by both Alabama and by Jim Young's team. 5:25 to go in the ball game, and the Crimson Tide quickly at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 5. They trail 28-23. Fullback, Shaw. 1st and goal at the 4. Darryl Sherb and O'Neal Miller.
What a nice call by Alabama. Most of their plays today have been slow developing plays by the tailback or passes. That time, a quick hitter inside to the fullback to Wayne Shaw. And watch this offensive line, the big line, 275 pounds. Larry Rose made another nice block, and then Wayne Shaw just read that block and stepped around it.
That's a gain of 16 and a 1st and goal from the 4 with 4:48 to go in the game. They'll try the fullback again, and he picks up 3 down to the 1. They might mark it down at the 2. Alabama trailed 14-3 at one point. It was 14-13 at the half. They went on top 20-14 third quarter. The Army scored 2 unanswered touchdowns late third quarter. It's 28-23 Army now, but a 2nd and goal Alabama at the 2. Castile, touchdown.
Well, they should go for 2 points here to try to make it a 3-point game. Some guys have that knack, that ability to run that up and over the top, and David Castile has done that all year long. And what he does so well is wait till he gets close to the line of scrimmage before he jumps.
That's the 7th touchdown for Castile this year, and Bill Curry's bunch has a lead for only the 2nd time in the ball game.
And they're going for 2 points to try to make it a 3-point game.
29-28 right now. And they will operate from the I formation. Knocked down. Flags are down as well. It was Ernest Boyd who batted the pass down.
Told you Alabama has had a tough time on 2-point plays this year. 1 of 4 coming in today's game.
Bill Curry, you saw, thought that pass interference would be the call.
Defensive holding.
Instead of pass interference, defensive holding.
It looked like Ernest Boyd grabbed his jersey right here as the receiver comes inside. Yeah, he grabbed number 6, Greg Payne, there, and the back judge was right there to make the play.
And as a result, they'll get another shot at the 2-point conversion. 4:01 to go in the ball game. And the ball at the 1.5. 1 of 4 in 1988. Castile knocked down. So it will remain a 1-point edge for the Crimson Tide of Alabama. And still, Pat, a lot of time left for the Cadets of Army with 4 minutes to go.
And 3 timeouts remaining. They don't have to abandon their wishbone offense. They still can be very, very patient, run the same plays they've run all game long.
Josh Haynes was the man who made the last tackle. The Crimson Tide lead, but it's a shaky one. 1 point with 4:01 remaining.
Very funny. Very funny. Very funny. Oh, is it idea? All right. You can have that. I'm going to stand up to read this.
Yes, all right. Oh, he made it. He made it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. When you were 21, We drank a toast to it.
In fact, David Castile here as he leaps over. Now, a lot of tailbacks will leap too early, jump too early, but he does a nice job of getting almost to the line of scrimmage before he leaps. In an earlier game this year, he did that 4 times for touchdowns.
And as Castile went in for the score, the Crimson Tide bunch on the sideline celebrated, and Bill Curry calmly said, "Go for 2." He's not saying hook 'em horse. And there is Britt Rambush.
He's had 2 field goals blocked today, yet may be called on.
Well, he's the punter. Keith Walker, of course, has had the field goals blocked.
That's right. Walker's going to be the guy who's going to have to either win or lose this game, perhaps for Army.
Walker is the man who has had 2 field goals blocked. And here is Philip Doyle. Mayweather, gimpy ankle and all, will down into the end zone, and the ball comes out to the 20-yard line.
With 4:01 remaining, Army doesn't have to do anything differently. They don't have to abandon the wishbone offense. They don't have to try to get it all back in one play and throw the football. They've got plenty of time to continue to run the fullback, run the option play, because they still have 3 timeouts remaining as well.
It's been the fullback for Army today, Ben Barnett, 166 yards on 13 carries. And I'm sure the Crimson Tide are aware of his presence. 1st and 10 at the 20. 29-28, Alabama. They'll try the fullback, and here he goes. Maybe they aren't aware of his presence yet. A career high for Barnett.
Nice block by the center, Bruner. Did a nice job of controlling the nose tackle and gave Barnett a couple of different ways to go.
Army still to complete its first pass of the ball game, but they do have time with 3:48 to go. McWilliams cuts it up to the 40-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 2. Lee Osmond makes the tackle.
Again, with those 3 timeouts remaining, they've got to get themselves really about to the maybe 25 or 30-yard line to give Keith Walker a chance to attempt a winning field goal.
2nd and 2. 29-28, Alabama leads. McWilliams, Calvin Cass, and that's a 1st down. He stops the clock as Kermit Kendrick makes the tackle. And the clock shows 3:10 remaining.
What a nice play by Kermit Kendrick, the corner there, who fought off the block at Cass and made the play.
29-28 Alabama, 3:10 to go, 1st and 10 Army. I'm thinking of the thousands of military personnel around the world who are watching today, and among them 92-year-old Colonel Earl Red Blake, the former great coach. Here's McWilliams, who is caught and dropped, and Colonel Blake just looked at that, I'm sure with a shrug. Why, oh why, he is in retirement at Colorado Springs, Colorado. 2:50 to go in the ball game. George Bethune made the play. It'll be 2nd down and 13.
The Alabama defense has this Army offense right where they want them now, 2nd and long for the first time today.
First time it's been negative yardage on 2nd down. And it'll be 3rd down and negative yardage. Willie Shepard, number 96, makes the tackle.
Nice play by Shepard on the inside linebacker position, read the guard, saw the little hole there, and then stepped up to make the play. It's a real good job of reading it. Shepard is right in here, one of the linebackers, and he's going to step inside and make the play. Actually, it was a little bit of a blitz. Got McWilliams aboard, had a chance to get going.
3rd and 16. McWilliams tipped, intercepted. Charles Gardner.
I think the ball may have been tipped by George Bethune, and freshman free safety Charles Gardner makes a heads-up play. And this Alabama team has done a nice job of doing little things today to help them win. Blocking kicks, blocking passes, getting their arms up. That caused the interception there.
And a dandy time for Charles Gardner to get his first interception of the season.
And the key here is the defensive lineman getting those arms up. When a quarterback is that close to the line of scrimmage, he's going to get some ball stiff. There was actually Osmond, number 42, who made the tip. and then Gardner makes a nice play.
Isn't that one of those subtle things defensively about getting your hands up?
Absolutely. It's little things like that that help you win ball games. David Smith's ball faking is another one of those things that helps Alabama win.
Now the Crimson Tide will try and work on the clock as well as advance the ball with the ball at the 30-yard line. 1:53 remaining. Castile with a 25-yard line. And Jim Young says timeout. Oh, well, we have timeout. Let's take a look at another fine school, the United States Military Academy at West Point.
The United States Military Academy. Let us show you. West Point, developing leaders for the nation.
412 yards for David Smith in the ball game. Second down and 4, Alabama. And they will keep it on the ground. And timeout has been called by the Cadets. That's their second. They have 1 remaining. David Smith wants a walk-on. 412 yards today. The school record 484, held by Scott Hunter. This is David Smith's final game, and it's special, as he told Pat Hayden and me.
I'm excited about going on into the real world, you know, getting a job, but I'm kind of sad because it's possibly my last game here at Alabama, and I won't be around the fans anymore, and I won't be around the players anymore, and it's kind of sad in that way.
It's kind of a special moment coming into a game as a quarterback, knowing it's your last game, Vern, because it's a game that you grew up playing when you're 3 or 4 in the streets of your hometown, and it meant so much for him to come to a place like Alabama and play here. And I think in his reflection on this game, this is a very, very special moment for him and a very happy Christmas if he wins the game.
And what a wonderful way to go out with 412 yards. He's got a Sun Bowl record, 52 passes thrown already today. And as the leader and quarterback of this Alabama team, has led their come-from-behind victory because they had to go to the pass to come from behind and take the lead.
And a marvelous job of showing very good poise.
3rd and 1. Army can stop the clock one more time. And Wayne Shaw gets the first down. That'll stop the clock automatically while they change the down marker, but then Jim Young's team does take its final timeout. .133 remaining in the ballgame. No timeout was called. I saw the players from Army signal timeout, but the clock's still running. 29-28, 1st and 10, Alabama. They came in as 14-point favorites and really had a battle this afternoon. Castile at the 20-yard line.
And Vern, you think about the job that Bill Curry did this year. Remarkable year, I think. A team he could have lost after a couple of early losses, but he didn't. Fought through some adversity, hung on to this team. They've had a great year.
1:05 remaining in the ball game. And David Smith comes over to the near side. 65 seconds remaining. Alabama leads it 29-28. From the Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas, Alabama with a late 4th quarter touchdown. 4 minutes remaining in the game, has a 1-point edge, 29-28. And the Crimson Tide have a 2nd down and 12. Army now out of timeouts. And apparently both these teams are going to wind up 9-3 for the year. Second down, Shaw brought down to the 16. As Jim Young peers at the clock, he can't stop it anymore. Well, Patrick, I know you've done 6 of these Sun Bowls. This is my first, and I had heard about the hospitality here all these years. It's terrific.
They are sensational people here. I don't think there's a bowl that makes their people feel more welcome.
Well, there are any number of people that are in charge, but we want to thank Sam Jenkins and Ted Houghton, Jimmy Rogers, and John Fulmer particularly for not only their hospitality, and all the folks at John Hancock for helping us out with the broadcast. Final 25 seconds, and for bringing together these two outstanding teams, Alabama and Army. And a flag is down.
A lot of people thought this wasn't going to be a competitive game, but I just thought with the kind of discipline that Army has displayed all year long, there was going to be a pretty close ball game. I was surprised they jumped out to that early lead, but give Alabama some credit for coming back when they had to and showing some poise to win.
Of course, the Sun Bowl today, we've got the Cotton Bowl, UCLA and Arkansas, a week from Monday in Dallas. Pat and I will be there for that one.
It's going to be a dandy.
And for the seniors at West Point and Alabama, the final game of their careers. As the clock cannot stop, and Bill Curry, somewhat beleaguered in his second season at Alabama, sees his team fight back and win. And Chris Moore, one of the all-time great punters, is lifted on the shoulders. David Smith with 412 yards today. Jim Young's team falls in a bowl game for the first time, but did themselves proud today. Our final score, Alabama 29, Army 28. Join us tomorrow for a special Christmas edition of Sports Sunday, Winterfest at 2 o'clock, followed by NBA action when the Los Angeles Lakers meet the Utah Jazz at 3:30. Pat Hayden, John Dockery, Jim Nance, this is Vern Lundquist. Happy holidays, everybody. The John Hancock Sun Bowl has been a presentation of CBS Sports. Merry Christmas to all of us.